This is the 10th of Sun's Dawn, the year of Akatosh 610. These are the first days of a new year, and the first episode of Tales of Tamriel in 2021. I am your host, Arkaniir, and as usual, I am joined by my amazing co-hosts, starting with the man, the myth, the legend himself, LotusOfDoom. How's it going, Lotus?
Things are pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing well. We are also joined by the Giggle Queen herself, the joy of the show, HyperPixie. How's it going, Pixie?
Going great over here.
That's always good to hear. Well, we are back after like a couple weeks of break. I think it was a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
basically, we took a Christmas break and a New Year break, and now we are back with an all new episode, and we have a lot of things to discuss. We got some exciting things to show or tell for our audio listeners, and we got some updates to give. But before we get into all that, we gotta give a shout out to our Patreon supporters. As usual, in this new year, their continued support helps keep all of these things running, and that's Zymergy and Solace Gaming as the champions, and Jondar as the knight of DCN. So thank you all so very much for your continued support. And yeah. And one behind the scenes update. Now that's one thing that we mentioned quite a lot about our YouTube and why we stopped publicly uploading our Tales of Tamriel episodes to YouTube, and that was because we wanted to add like curated, edited short videos to YouTube, sort of like gameplays, build guides, highlights, things like that. And that actually started. The first video of our Untaunted run, if you remember from my tales, of Depths of Malatar hard mode with its shenanigans are up on YouTube. And there's one thing I want to mention though, is that is a completely different content for our YouTube channel. So as far as YouTube's algorithm is concerned, it's a whole new thing, and they're like, yeah, whatever this is, we don't care. So it's gonna be a while.
News bad on YouTube.
yeah. So YouTube isn't recommending it to anyone or anything like that. So it's gonna be a while until the channel gets recognized by the algorithm for the videos, the new videos that we are making. And one thing you all could do to help is, if you're interested, go to youtube.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork, basically our YouTube channel. There you can find the uploaded videos and check out the latest ones, see if they interest you, drop a like if you like them, and provide feedback so we can do better videos. And
like, comment, subscribe.
There you go, yeah. I mean, if you haven't already, subscribe as well. And
smash the bell thing or whatever people do. Smashing bells.
Oh yeah, that's like...
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
Smash that subscribe button.
There it is.
Like and subscribe. But yeah, so that's one way you can most definitely help, because the more those videos get watched and get interacted with, YouTube basically considers the channel, starts considering the channel, okay, so this is the type of videos they are creating, and this is the audience that I can push those videos to, and sort of basically gets integrated into the algorithm until, I mean, it's gonna happen over time anyway, but you can make it go faster. Also, they are fun videos. At least I'd like to think so. It takes me like 5 hours to edit one of them.
I was gonna say, I was amused. I was amused by the first one, so.
The editing is hysterical. There's lots of bloopers. That's what I like the most.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite parts anyway, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we all know that nobody likes to actually see us succeed until we've failed for an excessive amount of time first. You earn your success through brutal failure.
Yeah. That's pretty much how those videos are. Basically, I slapped all the failed times that in the beginning, and then put the clear, like if it's a hard mode video, for example, because that's the first one, our clear of Depths of Maltar hard mode. But yeah, so we got some
Panic Destiny videos are also hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't have enough footage for those to make a full video yet though, because Cyberpunk released and I stopped playing Destiny. So that's
Feel you there. I stopped all life when Cyberpunk came out.
But yeah, we are back with an all-new episode. We got things to talk about. One thing Pixie hopefully we'll talk about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tease that, and no, don't show it yet.
It's too cool. Don't let anybody see it. No.
Yeah. Just gonna,
Everybody stay off Twitter too.
Yeah, just gonna tease anyone who hasn't seen it yet. Because I want to go
5
into.
minutes until we get to that.
I want to go into the studio director's letter for the year 2020, the 2020 retrospective. And by studio director, we obviously mean the president of ZeniMax Online Studios, as we call him, Matt Fighter.
Obviously, his real title.
Yeah, it's the studio director is just his fake title. He's the president. So it's a one-page letter, obviously talking about how Elder Scrolls Online and this community did in 2020. And there are some good points on it, and we are gonna read them and possibly discuss them. Greetings, ESO community. Well, we've done it. We've made it. Almost, as I type this, don't want to jinx it, to the end of 2020. All of us at ZeniMax Online Studios have been working from home since March, a huge change for us. We have managed to ride out the year safely and have overcome the difficulties posed by the entire team working remotely. We are very fortunate and thankful to have been able to make the transition to working from home and emerged at the end of 2020 with our jobs and health intact. Now, this is actually very important because switching an entire team to work from home in a very complex environment like the development of an MMORPG is a massive undertaking. And I know my company, for example, when the pandemic first started, they sort of did like a couple of weeks work from home and then tried to get everything back into the office and then did like another period of work from. So they did this back and forth between work from home and the office, even though we were very against it. So kudos to the management of Elder Scrolls Online, or rather ZeniMax Online Studios, for committing to working from home despite all the problems and all the difficulties that came with it, because there certainly were problems and difficulties with it, but that's something I will commend the dedication to doing it, because from personal experience, I know some who did not. This was a year of contrast for Elder Scrolls Online. The number of players joining the game, playing more often, and playing longer increased to a point we have seen only once before in 2015, just after console launch. Our year-long story arc with its focus on Western Skyrim and vampires certainly helped, but so did a combination of other factors, including the excitement generated by our first ever live announce show in Las Vegas last January. I'm still jealous about the fact that you two were there. And I was here playing with the sock puppets doing a Tales of Tamriel show by myself. Not forgotten.
Right. Saltiest episode.
Not forgotten.
No, no, it was very, very easy. Look, you were there with us in spirit. We even took a picture with you in the line waiting to get in.
We did. You were wearing some gorgeous elven armor.
Yep.
In your service to Queen Irene, which I'm sure made you so happy.
Little did I know how much that picture really represented what the show would become.
The foreshadowing.
Yep, the beginning of 2020 devolved into what we got.
Look, man, we can just, along with everything that happened in 2020, let's just pack it all up and throw it in the trash. It's fine. Never happened. The last 50 episode does not exist.
We thought that picture was photoshopped, Lotus.
I know.
One of our friends, but it was actually a real image of Ark.
I assumed that it was just like a candid photo. It's like, oh, this is Ark on the elevator to work, and it's
yeah.
This is all happening because of Gallisner and his improving Photoshop ability. Gallisner learned photo manipulation through making memes of me. Like when he first started, it was just like when he first started, it was just like a square cut off my face, like in Paint, and slapped onto whatever he was gonna slap it on. Now he's using like blending, layers, opacity stuff. He's smooth gradient, like blending pictures together and stuff like that. He got good while memeing me.
My favorite is this. I mean, whatever. What's a Tales episode without getting derailed immediately? My favorite of all of them is the Valentine's Day dinner with the guar.
Yeah.
I still like all of his shield memes also.
The shield memes are, oh man, those went on for a while.
For a while,
I
it's still happening.
see them floating.
I know it is still happening. As other people in the DCN network continue to get the shield just arbitrarily.
Especially since Lotus and I both have the shield, and you don't have the shield.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing how long, I wonder how long I had that, because I never thought to look for it, because I don't ever really check the cosmetics that I unlock. I really wish I knew. Like, when you first started looking for it, had I had it that whole time and I just had no clue? Or did I pick it up along the way? Like, I don't know, it's very strange.
The very first battleground I did after Ark saying he was looking for it, granted it was months later because I don't do battlegrounds, was the one that I got the shield. The very first one.
I still don't have it.
And I know, you still don't have it.
All I've been doing is battlegrounds. I haven't ran any challenge dungeons or anything like that. All I've been doing in ESO for the last several months have been battlegrounds. I still don't have it. It just doesn't drop. I don't know.
I'll bring it up.
I don't even want
tales,
it anymore. I thought not wanting it would probably make it drop, but it just doesn't exist.
You have another tale that wasn't in your tales when you get to it, which I remember for you.
I just had a
and it relates to Zos trolling you.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, you remember.
Trolling me again. Zos trolling me again, because this is not the first time that it happened.
Oh. I just saw him type it, so now I know. Now
we'll get there. We'll get there. Zos.
We'll get
Zos.
there. We'll get
okay, if anyone from Zos is listening to this, you better listen, because this is very important. It's not going to be a positive.
Please don't threaten.
It's not going to be a positive rant. It's going to be a very negative rant, and it is important. Okay, I hope someone from Zos is listening to this.
And I support
but we are going to get there in Tales. We are going to get there in Tales. It's I have a lesson.
Just didn't want to get overlooked.
This is now a very angry episode. Let's go.
I thought he was about to threaten someone from Zos and restarted that.
Nope, it's fine. No. Look, any threats made toward them are approvals by me, because I totally am on board with what they're doing to Ark.
It's fine. It's fine. All right, I'm trying to find where I left the
oh yes,
thing.
Right.
Because we derailed very fast there. We just,
very quickly.
The letter. We're talking about the letter.
Las Vegas. There we go. But so did a combination of other factors, including the excitement generated by our first ever live announced show in Las Vegas last January, a tease of what was coming last December at the Game Awards, and of course, the pandemic. However, we also experienced game instability, far too many bugs, and very rough update launches. We can't talk about ESO and 2020 without talking about the pandemic. Having much of the world shut down led to a huge changes in player behavior in the game, far longer play sessions and far more people playing. We are very much aware that ESO is an escape for many of you, even in the best of times, but during the many months where the outside world went awry, ESO became a refuge, a place to escape the reality of our not-so-awesome situations for at least a few hours at a time. Engagement in our housing system spiked, as many of you virtually nested, so it wasn't just about the number of you playing, it was how you changed and adapt during the pandemic. We are very humbled by the amazing outpouring of thanks from the community for helping you through a very trying time, and we will endeavor to continue being your safe port in the storm. Things were not always so rosy for the ESO dev team though. We kept our aggressive development schedule that, in hindsight, might not have been the right strategy. We actually talked about this quite a few times, I feel like, that like they probably should have cut down the number of DLCs or like instead of one expansion, 3 DLCs, they could have done like one expansion, 1 DLC and focus on stability. And I'm glad to see that they are also aware of it. Yep. So maybe in 2021, because the pandemic is still technically going, even though the vaccinations are going out and everything like that, it's still not over. So since they are aware that that was possibly a strategical mistake, Hopefully 2021 will be a much better year for Elder Scrolls Online's technical side as well.
Yeah, also just to the degree of like we've talked about them not being able to just cease production because that'll just have people sitting around doing nothing. Like, artists have no point to coding and stuff like that. But just from, like you mentioned, the technical side of things, it's like one side effect is each one of these DLCs that comes out, the patches that come along with them usually involve some pretty substantial quality of life or new systems that get implemented. So it's like, even if you get content, but it doesn't involve like, Markarth, you get Markarth. Okay, whether or not it has issues, if it's just Markarth, we don't know because you can't have that scenario. But it's like they overhauled the sticker book system along with it. It's like that is a pretty substantial change. So it's like maybe if they don't do both of those at once or something like that, like the free thing, the free updates or the quality of life things come out at different times or whatever. There's a lot of different ways they could go about this that might help.
Yeah. And like, since they're aware of it, I think it will get a lot better in 2021 because like they tested the aggressive development schedule and apparently it didn't go well. Obviously it didn't go well. So yeah. I'm fairly certain they are just going to adjust. Maybe we'll get a little bit of less content out of it, but if it's going to increase the game stability, obviously that's at least...
Yeah, I'd take that over.
In most people's opinion that we have talked to and are in contact with in the ESO community, everyone agrees as far as I can see.
Yeah.
So, a combination of the normal ESO content cycle, investigating, fixing long-standing issues, optimizations to improve performance on lower-power devices, and the lack of team, both development and QA, in parentheses, lack of team cohesion brought on by work from home led to a poor experience in many cases for you. The short version is that we kept our usual frantic pace, but didn't allow for the realities of working remotely. Each of our 4 update launches were marred with errors and problems of various types. Patches to fix those issues sometimes led to more problems. Obviously, this is unacceptable, and we will be addressing this as a team throughout 2021. You already know that the 2021 story arc is called Gates of Oblivion, and I'll leave it up to our reveal show next month to go into the specifics. But I want to highlight that in 2021 we will devote more time overall to stability and game performance and less time to new game systems, with our standard content updates continuing unchanged. We will still be working from home for the foreseeable future, and I want to ensure that our 2021 updates and patches are smooth and the player experience is enjoyable. This is an ongoing process, and remember that we are usually working on updates 6 months or before they 6 months or more before they launch. So when we start work from home in March, we were already working on Q3 and Q4 content, which led to the issues outlined above. We now have planned for the team working remotely for roughly the first half of 2021, so the Introduce Fewer New Systems program will continue throughout 2021. I want to give a special shout out to everyone working at ZeniMax Online. All of you in the community should know how awesome the ESO team is. Yes, we know. It was a very, very difficult year for us, and the team made it through with a combination of humor, sometimes very dark, hard work, and perseverance. We could never have held together as a team during this year without the many years of teamwork behind us and respect that we have for one another. Even though we were stressed sometimes to the breaking point, we made it through because it is what we do. And of course, in closing, please know that everything we do on ESO is for you, the community. Even if we occasionally fall short, we are working diligently to provide you with the fantasy virtual world that you love. Your passion for the game is truly amazing and keeps us going through the dark times. Thank you all, have a safe and peaceful holiday, and we will see you in 2021. Matt. See, I mean, honestly, this is, we talked about how, like, yes, things go bad, but let's not hammer the developers about it. We rephrased that many times, and we mentioned it again and again. this is why, like, they are aware of the issues, they are doing their best, and these guys are definitely one of the best community-friendly developers that are out there, without a doubt. Like, I've been a developer, I've been in companies that develop games. I've seen, maybe not at the scale, but behind the scenes, and this much I forgot the word. Ingenuity?
Yeah.
Well, basically, like honesty, or like someone...
Integrity?
No.
Transparency?
No. We will figure this word out.
More Y letters?
It may have not started with that letter. Someone acting as they are, like not pretending. What is the word?
Oh, genuine?
Yes, thank you. There we go. See, it had nothing to do with the letter.
Genuinity?
Yeah.
That's what my brain kept going through.
I'm gonna make that my word.
But yeah, like you this much genuity? Whatever. You get the idea. You get the point.
Yeah. Very genuine.
Yes, they are very genuine, and that's a good thing. Thank you. See, I was about to say something nice, and now it's gone. You get the idea.
Just like the word.
Well, because you are, you were already raged out from before, so it's just balancing out to neutral R.
But yeah, this was the letter, and I really don't expect, as the letter said, in terms of like a lot of new systems and stuff from 2021. But I think game stability is going to be something that everyone is, looking forward to and is going to be very happy to receive. Like, especially, for example, if Cyrodiil performance increases, that's going to be very fun for me, because I can actually go back to saying what I claimed I would do, basically going for the Emperor.
But then trying to actually do it in practice, like, woof.
Not even I cannot cast skills in Cyrodiil. It's just so literal. I don't know how people are playing. Maybe it's because I'm a little bit further from the European servers.
Yeah, it might be that little extra on, like, people struggle, but then you push it a little further out. You have a little more ping,
my default ping is about
like
100, 110. So...
Yeah, which is not that bad. Like...
Yeah, when I jump into Cyrodiil, it's just... is deadly. So
yeah,
that Emperor claim, we'll just ignore that for now, because that's not happening
on the back burner
soon.
Until it's possible.
Yeah.
But that's just it. It's like, and I mean, personally, I am fine with the systems that are already in the game, and if they can iron them out, it's like if you want to give me more stuff, that's great, but I would much rather have the stuff that's there working, and they're very aggressive. Content schedule, new stuff is good, and that seems like that would be, kind of like functionally okay to produce, because you've got so many people working on it. But the thing is, if they can iron out all of the previous systems so that they work, that essentially is giving people more content, because now some of the content that they wouldn't do because it didn't work now would work. So you might not be getting something brand new, but now you can consistently do something with less hassle that you couldn't do before, which in and of itself, I think would help people as well. Some of the trifectas I just won't try, because I'm like, well, I don't even want to try this, because it's like, I'm just going to do this until we have a perfect run and also it works at the same time. Yeah. And it's like, that's that. But if it's like, we'll take that part out, it just runs right. It does exactly what it intends to do. It's like, okay, well, now it's totally on me, as opposed to a mix of both. Mm-hmm. That, to me, would open a lot of challenges that I would start trying to do, so.
Yeah. I mean, it is well, like, as I said, they are aware of the issue that the schedule, like, update schedule was a bit rough for this given situation. So in 2021, I'm fairly certain that things are going to get a lot better for ESO, and it's going to be one hell of a year, also because Oblivion is the best game. And we are going back to Oblivion.
What was that last bit?
I'm losing Lotus.
The best game.
So apparently Lotus just disconnected from the call.
I still need to play Oblivion.
It is my favorite soundtrack.
That too.
It is
finally.
Yeah.
Going back and like actually, like at least trying to finish the main quest, and also the Dark Brotherhood quest, which you guys keep telling me is just amazing.
Oblivion's Dark Brotherhood quest was
Dark Brotherhood
amazing.
Is where it's at.
Like it spoiled. It was a spoiling quest line. It was so good.
Which is crazy because the Dark Brotherhood quest lines, as somebody who like is in the huge minority of not even liking the Dark Brotherhood, I generally don't like that guild very much, and it's really funny because I'm always like, their quests are so good, and that is definitely the pinnacle of them. Like,
and
so why is Ag saying in chat saying?
Oh, Ag can't stand Oblivion.
Why?
So here looking at it objectively from observation, like this is my observation from talking to a lot of people about their favorite Elder Scrolls game. If someone played Elder Scrolls Morrowind for the first time, Morrowind is their favorite game, Oblivion sucks. If someone played Oblivion for the first time as an Elder Scrolls game, Oblivion is the best, Morrowind sucks, or Skyrim is, If someone played Skyrim for the first time, Skyrim is generally the best. Oblivion and Morrowind are good because the people who played Skyrim for the first time generally don't insult the other games, but they are like, well, they are clunky and old. So I played Oblivion for the first time. Oblivion is the best Elder Scrolls game. I will fight everyone for it. Ag played Morrowind for the first time as the first Elder Scrolls game, and he will fight everyone about Morrowind being the best Elder Scrolls game, and Oblivion is a potato. So
So here's the thing. I am from the Morrowind camp because Morrowind was the first one. Morrowind is my favorite one. But I will not try to tell anybody that Morrowind is not clunky as hell. Because people, I mean, we talked about it on, Elder Scrolls Lorecast. Robots tried playing it, and he was like, I took about 30 swings at a rat, missed every time, and it bit me to death. And he was like, all right, I guess I'm done with this game. And he quit. Yeah. And I'm like, that's definitely a thing. Yeah, the appearance, the art style to Oblivion is a turnoff to many. It is a ton of lens flare. It's very pastel, like it almost looks like a watercolor painting, the art style. And the goofy bit that gets ragged on the most is people are literally potato faces. Like everyone's face is incredibly potato-like. So it's...
in 2006, a lot of the games had potato faces.
Oh, it's very much a product of 2006. Like, you can tell, like, when it came out, especially the one I always
actually, hold on. I want to rephrase.
Yeah.
Crysis, the first Crysis, I think if I remember correctly, released around the same time as Elder Scrolls Oblivion. And
really?
there is that. There is that. But looking at the RPGs of 2006.
Yeah.
Like...
Like, I know the meme, like, can it run Crysis or whatever, but, like, I never played Crysis, so I don't know what this game actually looks like. Is it pretty?
Well, now it looks like ass, but for the
actually,
time...
no. Have you checked a original Crysis video recently?
So, the environments look gorgeous. I think people in that game...
Oh, yeah,
look
people
like
are
they have
still
robotic
potato.
skeletons from hell.
Yeah, but basically the thing with Crysis was that...
The scenery's gorgeous.
Yeah. So Crytek created CryEngine, and then they were like, well, we created a new engine, now we need a game to showcase it. And they basically created Crysis. And for 2006, for its time, Crysis was an insanely looking game, and it was actually well optimized.
Okay.
And then
I'm looking at this now, and
Yeah.
it is very pretty for 2006.
Yeah, the environments are still gorgeous.
And then they did Crysis 2 and 3, and they were also, for their time, with the reflections and everything, very gorgeous games. But this time, they were so resource demanding, it basically became a benchmark game. Like, the Crysis 3 wasn't good as a game. Crysis 3 was as a game, I was like, but it turned into a benchmark software, basically, because people would literally benchmark using Crysis.
Yeah. Well, so I've played all three of them. Man, now it's turning into last time we recorded it was the Cyberpunk cast. Now it's the Crysis cast. Yeah. So I liked Crysis. I liked the first one a lot. The second one, I was like, the setting is really bizarre and the story isn't good, in my opinion, at all. I was just like, what is happening? I don't like any of these characters. And then Crysis 3, I remember the night we got, well, I didn't get it. One of my friends got it. And if you pre-ordered the game, you were given a bow and arrow that was a one-shot weapon in multiplayer. So everybody in multiplayer that pre-ordered the game basically had the level 50 unlock to start, and they would just spawn pin anybody who didn't pre-order the game into the corner and just just obliterate them until they hit score cap. I'm like, this is terrible. Yeah. And that's my only remembrance of the third one.
Crysis story games were okay. Crysis multiplayer was a disaster. Crysis is just a benchmark game that was showcasing CryEngine. That's basically the summary of it. So yeah, like Oblivion and Crysis, they released around the same time. But yeah, how did we get here?
I don't know.
Right.
Pull up. Elder Scrolls game was Morrowind, actually. Granted, it was a friend's copy of Morrowind, so I didn't get to play it much. I played it enough to see the Telvanni mushroom houses and think that those were just the coolest freaking things ever.
And the wondrous Gwar.
So I don't remember running into a Gwar. I feel like I would have remembered that, but I just saw mushrooms. And I remember waking up and telling my friend who had loaned me the game, I was like, "Oh my god, have you found the mushroom houses yet?" And he's like, "No, did you save?" I was like, "I don't think so." And he's like, "Well, now I have to go find these mushroom houses." And that was just the whole thing that I remember from the first time I played Morrowind. And then I didn't play Oblivion at that time whenever it came out because I didn't have an Xbox yet. Then I got an Xbox right before Skyrim launched. Then I got Skyrim close to launch. And then I went back and started to play Oblivion. Didn't get very far with it because it was really different from Skyrim. I was like, these mechanics are just weird. Leveling is weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going back to the games is very difficult.
Yes.
And so then I also got it. So not too long ago. I guess a year. God, is it? It's been over 2 years now because I still have my old laptop. GOG actually got the older Elder Scrolls games, so Oblivion was one of them, on their platform. So I bought it through GOG because it was on sale and everything. And before I bought that, I actually got Arena and Daggerfall included with it. And so I have Oblivion there. I played about 20 hours. So I know the potato phases and stuff, but a lot of my time in that game has just been Mage's Guild. I haven't really done anything outside of the Mage's Guild quests. I haven't done much of the main quest at all. I haven't done the Thieves Guild or the Dark Brotherhood, which apparently those, the Dark Brotherhood was apparently amazing. So I have to go back and play that.
Oh, yeah.
So, and because of this whole Gates of Oblivion thing we're going on, and since, Rich was a producer on Oblivion,
yep.
I feel like I need to go back and actually play that game. So I'm planning to go back and
I would at least
Oblivion.
play the main quest,
Yeah,
the main quest is pretty decent.
And I always get sucked into Elder Scrolls games whenever I play them. With Oblivion in particular, I found that 20 hours that I got was on my old laptop, and Oblivion was the only game I could run on my old laptop. So I got that whole 20 hours on that, and then once I got my PC, I was like, nope, it's time to play ESO. And so trying not to immediately abandon Oblivion for one of the prettier games, I guess, is my problem. But then again, I can play N64 Zelda and have a freaking blast, so I think the potato phases I can deal with.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna play it.
I will probably replay it before Gates of Oblivion hits as well, or at least start replaying it, because I'm fairly certain there's gonna be a lot of references that I'm not gonna remember, because it's been I mentioned this before when I played Oblivion. It was years ago, and my English wasn't as this right now, so I didn't understand a lot of things, I suppose. So we should all start a replay of Oblivion.
So it's funny. We had mentioned the Dark Brotherhood, and SD actually mentioned in chat what I wanted to bring up. The Shivering Isles expansion is awesome.
That's the one I never played because
that is so
back then
good.
I didn't know like DLCs were a thing.
Yeah,
like I didn't know DLCs existed as a concept.
I'm not sure they'll do it this year now that they're owned by Microsoft, but I do enjoy also that they got there's always the running joke of the horse armor because it was like the first console DLC. And one thing that they've done, I'm pretty sure it's documented on the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages where you could look up. I think they've done it every year, but I know they've done it. I just don't know if it's a yearly thing. As an April Fool's joke, they just double the price of horse armor that everybody hates because they said it was too expensive. And for whatever reason, it sells insane amounts. It's like people don't believe them. They're like, there's no way they increase the price. So then they like purchase it to test it, and it just charges them twice as much. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this?
You know that meme with
that
the
it's going
like
to charge you that much
with the stock market in the back, stonks and stuff. that's just them, stonks.
Horse armor stonks are an all-time high.
Like, I have the Game of the Year edition and everything, so I have all of the DLC. I've not touched any of the DLC. Except for, so there's this one, like there's some house that I got from a DLC that's some mage's tower. I've played with that because, of course, housing. But, yeah, that's really the only thing I've done that is a DLC thing. So I do really want to go back and experience that. I have heard that it is an incredible story from start to finish. Need to learn more about Dagon and the cultists and all that good stuff. So,
I think the Mythic Dawn's a pretty cool cult too.
When you mentioned Dagon, it just reminded me of Sarah's. The episode is called what now?
Yeah, that was amazing. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was. I'm glad we named that episode that.
Yeah.
That sparked some fun.
I could not stop laughing.
The episode is called what now? I wonder what this one is gonna be. You could just like do parts of Dagon until the release.
Right, yeah, just name individual parts.
Dagon's biceps.
Dagon's abs.
Alright, let's not go further down.
Yep. Explicit tag incoming. No.
Well, we were talking about favorite Elder Scrolls games. So yeah, that's my like observation. Basically, just everyone just favorites the first Elder Scrolls games they played. I played more of it like 55 hours a couple years back, after some pressure from Ophelia, and I must say it was an amazing, like, for all of its stupid things, Morrowind is a fantastic game. Old school fantastic, but fantastic. I had a lot of fun. It was just torture, but I lasted 55 hours because it's so rough. Yeah, that's no. Like, I wouldn't count myself super casual, but I also don't want to try to figure out where a cave is when my direction is like somewhere. You know, So, I want to go back and play that one too. But I know that they're working on Skywind. I don't know what the progress on it is. It might be finished
Oh
by
my
now.
god, yeah.
So, like, I was talking about this actually this morning with Pylon, saying, like, you know, I'd really like to go back and play that game. It seems really cool, but at the same time, why would I play that whenever they're coming out with a mod that, like, essentially takes Skyrim and, like, plops all those niceties into Morrowind? Because I really just want to see the story. So maybe I'll watch a Let's Play. I'm really just interested in the story of that game, because I remember trying to hit a bug. Because after I played it whenever I was 9 and found the mushrooms. And then I tried to play it again whenever I was, like, 13. And I swung at like this white bug like larva thing, and it just kept saying miss, miss, miss.
So
I walked into a town and immediately got pissed off.
There's one way to play Morrowind, and actually a lot of people suggest playing it that way now. There's a mod called, I don't, some like sure hit, or I don't remember the name, but basically 100% hit chance all the time. So basically the only thing that the mod changes is gets rid of that D&D type dice roll combat system.
To hit.
Yeah, it basically makes all of your hits actually connect. And that's actually, if you're going to play Morrowind now, that's the way to do it without throwing yourself into absolute suffering and frustration. I didn't do it because I was like, I'm going to play this vanilla. It was a very terrible idea. Don't do it. So
it's like, I have the game.
Yeah, there are two mods that I would recommend. One makes it widescreen because the game is not widescreen, but it's a bit wonky. It might not work. The other one is 100% hit chance. So with those two mods, the game is actually a lot more... Well, even ignore the widescreen one, but 100% hit chance, that makes it a lot better.
Yeah, it's a world of difference. Because otherwise you need to get so far along before you can actually consistently hit anything.
After I finish Oblivion, you guys are going to have to remind me about that, and you're also going to have to tell me how to, like, get that mod set up, because I'm used to, like, easy Skyrim console level mods, where it's just like, oh, click on the mod you would like, and it's suddenly installed, and your game works. That's all I know. I never actually had to use, what's it called, Nexus?
Oh, yeah.
That. So I don't know how to mod games. I'm clueless. Just treat me like a console gamer, and
hey,
hey.
So
I still play on consoles. It's okay.
I'll take my mods elsewhere. The floor that Sony allows us to have.
About Sky Oblivion or Skywind, I don't remember which one. I remember reading on Twitter because I follow the developer on Twitter. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, you're looking at Rebel Eyes.
I think they wrapped up for one of them the beta 1.0. I remember something like that. I'm trying to find that, but I can't.
Yeah, it's been coming along. The thing is, it's such an ambitious project, and it's totally volunteer based.
Isn't that since like 2013? They're developing it like for 8 years, I think.
Yeah.
So
now.
It looks gorgeous.
I'm just trying to find the thing that I remember about it, because I do remember. So it was something like, okay, we wrapped up the 1.0 beta. Now we want to test and make sure up until this point everything is working, or something along those lines. But I probably read it while I was about to fall asleep. So now it's like, am I remembering this correctly?
Lost of the annals of time, yeah.
Am I making things up?
On their FAQ, it says, how much have you done so far? Is there any estimate for a release date? And it says, we're keeping our release targets private for now, and it's not possible to give a useful completion percentage. With a community project such as this, progress often comes at an irregular rate and is hard to predict. Providing even an approximate estimated date won't help us deliver Skywind, and will result in disappointment if we're delayed. It'll be done when it's done. Currently, we've been experiencing a steady level of activity in several key sectors that has benefited the project immensely. When we have a release date, we will notify our fans via our various social media pages and Discord. If you would like to help accelerate the development of Skywind, we would love to have any qualified volunteers come on board. Please see our volunteer page, and if you believe you have the passion and aptitude to learn and help. And
did I dream this information? What?
There is a chance.
I mean, that was Skywind. Maybe you were thinking Sky Oblivion.
It was probably Sky Oblivion, but again, I'm looking through Sky Oblivion things and I couldn't find any info regarding that either. Maybe I just dreamed it. I don't know. I was like, Sky Oblivion, beta 1.0, it's done. And then I woke up.
Slaps is quoting, "It's done when it's done," and that makes me remember back to the 2013 original title or original trailer for Cyberpunk 2077, where at the end it says, "It's coming when it's ready."
Yeah. Well, I would also like to. So it's done when it's done. Also, Slaps follow CD Projekt Red. Why though?
I was thinking, okay, last tangent on Cyberpunk that I'm going to make, but I just need to I need to say it before I forget. I was thinking about Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of the complaints about Cyberpunk is the AI. Tell me AI pathing in Witcher 3. Most of them didn't fucking move.
I haven't
I
beaten
would tell
Witcher
you if I had
yet.
played Witcher 3.
Yeah, you haven't played
need
Witcher 3.
to.
I'm playing through Witcher 3. Like, I haven't finished it yet. But, yeah, the AI seems... They just kind of jump around like generic enemies. But I heard The Witcher 3 launched pretty rough as well. But I didn't play it at launch, so I can't confirm that. They just kind of hanging out or whatever.
There's no such thing as a AAA game releasing without issues. The change happens what you expect from it. Like, if we didn't expect much from Cyberpunk and the game released as it is and we played through that main story, it would be like, wow, okay, this was the best game ever. But we were expecting the perfect game from CDPR because it's CDPR. Right. They make great games and they hyped Cyberpunk for like 8 years. And even though the story and everything is amazing, the game has issues and that didn't live up to the standards, which is, I believe, is one of the main reasons like Valve never decided to create Half-Life 3 because they probably thought, okay, you know what? Whatever we do with Half-Life 3, it will never, ever, regardless of how much money or time we throw at it, it will never hit the community's, expectations. It's just gonna flop.
So gamers, quit being bastards and just enjoy the game for what it is.
I mean, see, that's
what they needed to do was just skip last gen. Like,
that's
what the problem was. Just I know there's many people available. Like, that is a huge pool of players that you cannot market to, but this did them no favors in the end. So
the problem is CDPR handled it very bad. So if they had said, okay, the game, if they had just said, okay, the game doesn't run on last gen console, so we are gonna release on PC. Yes, here's the PC because it works, sort of. Get the PC if you're gonna delay the console or the last gen version, couple months, whatever, how long they need. That would have been fine. What CDPR did was they tried to keep it on the wraps. That was their problem. They were like,
that was not a good look.
Yeah, sure, it works. Let's put it on the stores. Let's go. And they sort of got what they deserved in that sense because don't do that. Don't try to trick people into buying a game that does not function. So if you do that, you deserve losing 30% of your stock market value. It is how it is. Is that the problem? Is that the problem of developers? No, that's the problem of the management. So leave the developers alone, let them do their thing, and go after the management.
At the same time, I have talked to some people who have like base PS4s and base Xbox Ones who are like, the game is fine. Occasionally we'll have a missing texture.
That's the thing.
I don't understand.
It is very unstable. I mean, we seem to have a good build on PC. But I have friends with more powerful PCs than I have, unable to play on PC. This doesn't function.
They tried uninstalling and reinstalling. I don't understand why it's so different. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, something is
like, uninstall and reinstall the game.
Well, like that. I mean, I had told you guys because I generally haven't been too interested in the game, but like a lot of my friends obviously were, and I've had some people be. Yeah, it's whatever. It just looks like a crappy version of what the PC version looks like. And then I have people on the PC, including like someone who's playing on the PS5, and they're like, I actually had to get a refund because it literally won't work. I can't complete quests because the game falls apart. And I'm like falling through the world and nothing loads. He's like, I'm literally playing on a next-gen console and I can't get the game to work. And I'm like, what? It's so erratic. Like, some people seem like it's fine. Other people, it's like my system is exploding. I'm like, that is yeesh. Like, what? Yeah. Talk about trying to narrow down a problem when people are just like, all right, so we cut up all this paper and threw it around the room. Now Gotta find the ones with the little dot on them. Those are the ones that are broken and fix it. Like, ugh.
So Chad is discussing whether CDPR will be sold or shut down or anything like that.
No.
I don't think it will be shut down, and I don't think it will be sold. But here's the thing. From what I heard, obviously, I didn't look into it. I didn't research it. It just came up during a discussion, and this is what I heard from a friend who generally just spends a lot of time researching these things. Apparently, after Witcher 3, a lot of the core development team quit already. So CDPR was already not CDPR, or CDPR was already not the same when Cyberpunk got into a heavy development cycle and got released. So if that is true, CDPR is already not CDPR as you know it from Witcher series. So whatever.
So this is man, we are in all directions after returning this year.
Sorry.
It's Witcher cast.
Cyberpunk land.
Yeah. There's actually a really great documentary. I feel like it might be No Clip. That talks about The Witcher. And they basically hemorrhage their entire staff after every game.
I see.
Because most of them, and unfortunately, it's again, I don't follow this. I just thought it was an interesting documentary. If it's the one I'm thinking of, most of what they documented was they are overworked to the point that a lot of the people just quit the industry, and they have to restaff the entire team.
See, here's the thing.
So it's like. And then you get a new team, which is good or bad at what they do. So it's like, I don't know.
Among game developers, there's a common concept about working at AAA. A lot of people don't want it because they know they are going to be overworked to hell.
It's but a lot of work.
The reason you try to get into AAA most of the time for game developers is you get overworked to hell for 1 year or maybe a couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years. You
quit.
Depending on how ambitious.
The entire industry is open to you from then on. You can start your own company. You can hire people just using that name. Like, you know how, a new company gets formed, a new game is about to release, and the advertisement is from the veterans of GTA 5. Or from the veterans of this, from veterans that worked with like Rockstar Games or Bethesda Game Studio. Those are the people that quit and started their own thing. But they now have that name of AAA behind their, they have the brand. So that's generally what people do. They go into AAA, crunch for a year or two, and then they can just use that experience and that name, that branding to move on to wherever they want to go, basically.
Bought Yooka-Laylee because I heard that the developers of Banjo-Kazooie made it. That's the whole reason I bought that game. And the whole reason I did not go into game development and I did go into web development was like I knew I wanted to get into coding, but I decided that I didn't want to work my ass off for overtime hours for no extra pay, and that would be a not fun time. So I went into web development, and I have a great time solving stupid ass.
I mean, you sound so happy. That's the thing. It's like, as somebody who, my opinion of coding in general sounds like one of my worst nightmares. My opinions on it are pretty much just like, look, this is just what I understand of it, because it's like, oh man, I've done very little coding, and every time I've done it, I was like, well, not doing this anymore. We're all done here. It was a hard nope.
Yeah, but Pixie is right. It's getting better in general because people have been drawing a lot more attention to the, unpaid crunch and everything like that in the game industry, and it is getting better from the stories I'm hearing. But it's definitely it's expected. Like, so the management sees game development, management as in general, like the people who are not the developers. And by developers, I don't just mean the coders, but I also mean the artists, the community team, basically everyone that is making the game and not calling the shots.
Right.
And there's this misconception that, okay, game developers are, passionate, they want to do this. This is their passion. They enjoy this. And that ends up being as people expecting you to work late hours because, you enjoy it, right? I mean, it's 10 p.m. in the office, but you're making a game. Wow, it's your dream. So, and the more you do it, because sometimes you do it as well because you enjoy it. And it's like, okay, you know what? I'm working on a feature. I'm working on a task. I'll finish this and get it ready for tomorrow. Because most of us do enjoy what we do. So you stay without anyone asking you to for a few more hours in the office and complete the task because you wanted to. But then the next day, you want to go home, but because you did it without anyone asking before, it is now expected of you. And now, when you go there, like, well, you used to work very hard, but now you sort of lack motivation now. And like, no, I am working as I should be now. I just used to work extra before. So we also shoot ourselves in the foot as well with that concept. Like, that's why in my last couple months at the company that I was working for, I kept urging the team to not do unasked, like not do overtime without getting asked. Because we would do a meeting and someone would be like, oh yeah, I finished that over the weekend. And I was like, why? Why did you finish that over the weekend? You're not going to get paid. They're going to expect you to finish stuff over the weekend from now on. Just don't do it. Don't finish stuff over the weekend unless it's like absolutely crucial. The game is going up in flames, then of course you do it. But yeah.
So that actually carries over into web dev too. So my old team lead quit, and whenever he quit, I was promoted to team lead. But I remember whenever he was my lead, I would always, like, I was a try-hard, and like, I want to impress the company, and I'm going to do good at my job, and I love my job, and I can do this. And I'd get like so like tunnel vision on this feature I was trying to implement. I'm like, I know I can do it. I just need another hour. Or I'd tell him like, hey man, if something breaks over the weekend, call me, I'll fix it. And he would stop me and be like, no, I'm not going to do that. Once you're off work at 3:00, you are off work. I am not going to call you. I'm not going to text you. I'm not going to message you on Slack. It's just not going to happen. He said, because if I do that, and the boss is going to start expecting you to do it every single day. And I'm not doing that to my team. And so now that I'm team lead, I keep saying the same exact thing. Like, you will not work on the weekend. I am not okay with this. Just go home, enjoy your time off. That's what you're here for. Because like I've worked at the company 4 years now. I know what burnout feels like. I know what led to my burnout. And you don't want that from your employees at all. And it's completely how it happens. The employee's like, yes, I love my job. I want to do this. And they do it for a while and they burn themselves out. And then your job sucks. And it's so hard to pull yourself out of that burnout once it happens. So I get it. I really do.
It applies to all development, honestly. It's not just game though. Unless the company is very corporate, because then they have like a bank, for example. They come with, at least here, stupid level of structure, so there's less like unpaid or at least stuff. But yeah, development in general tends to be like this. So go easy on our beloved Elder Scrolls Online developers, folks.
Yeah.
To tie it back to the
and with that's our 2020 retrospective.
Yeah, that's
Elder Scrolls Online.
We do our start, stop, continue, and we've got the whole sprint cycle all planned out. There we go. We did it for you, Zos. You're welcome. 3-hour meeting saved.
So, Pixie, you have received something from Zas. So
Yes,
I think it's time to show and tell all the good stuff. Woo!
So I received a letter from Lyranth. The little, not little, she's taller than I am. The Dremora in Cold Harbor during the main quest line. Apparently she pops up in Shadowfen too, but I don't remember that storyline because that's Ebonheart Pact.
Believe it's in the public dungeon.
Oh, okay.
She pops up in several places in the game, and I love her because she's like Obnortarn.
Oh yeah, she's a huge douche.
Yeah.
I really like her. The whole Dramora like triple voice over thing just is really cool to me, so I just like listening to her talk.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I read this whole thing in her voice, which clearly I can't do for you over this microphone. I don't have my voice.
I can try to
Where's
make it
Promethean?
so in the editing.
Oh,
Just a
I
fair
think that's a
warning to
nightmare for
everyone.
you.
The voice might become very weird if I decide to try this.
Oh man, please do.
Please do. So first of all, there is a little symbol at the bottom of the letter. I have no freaking clue what that is. I just want to get that out there. It says, "Little mortal, the coin included with this letter is one of 3 such discs that hold some significance to the Order of the Waking Flame. The cultist I acquired it from has no further need of it, and it may assist us in the near future. Study the coin, for I believe there may be a clue to the cult's activities hidden in its etched surfaces. In due time, I will summon you. Things are about to occur, and I will require a mortal's touch. Be ready. Lyranth." So,
There you go. Flames wake.
with the Order of the Waking Flame, which is not...
I don't think it
doesn't
exists.
sound anything like the what's it called?
Mythic Dawn.
The Mythic Dawn. Thank you.
Yeah.
But if you look at the coin included, sorry audio listeners, I'm gonna try to. That's the Mythic Dawn's logo or close to it, from my understanding.
It is. It's very similar. It's just the flames are a little less controlled than the Mythic Dawn one. It's a little more flamey on your coin than what the Mythic Dawn symbol looks like.
Okay. Then, okay. It says in the letter that there's 3 different coins. We've seen 2 of them. I have one of the 2. This is the one I have. I saw a goat one floating around. This one, UESP, called the Weird Bug Head. I don't know if I'm holding this upside down or not. So it might be actually this way. It doesn't look any more like a bug but maybe a little bit more like a bug now that I'm really looking at it.
Yeah, I guess it's just, I mean, it's as bug-like as the bottom of the letter is, like, that kind of looks bug-like too, I suppose.
So what I see whenever I hold it, what I believe is right side up. So, okay, here, I need like an actual like quarter or something to figure out how coins work, apparently. Because I just noticed Patty got posted his
Coins are hard.
like upside down from mine. So if you look, Mythic Dawn, if I flip it vertically here, that's how I thought coins work. But then I saw that some people had Mythic Dawn side and then flipped it this way as if you were flipping a coin, and that's how they posted it.
I don't
know which way is right side up.
I would not. I would have turned it if I was.
Yeah,
to
I would have
do
turned it as well.
Yeah, I would not flip it like that. I would turn it if I were to.
I've been questioning my whole reality since I saw somebody put it the opposite way that I had. So
Yeah,
Actually, hold
I'm
on.
glad I'm not the only one.
Hold on, we can answer this question.
Do you
There's a
have a
whole
coin?
bunch of collectible coins we have. Hold on, one of them.
Oh wait,
Oh,
shit,
yeah.
I have like 5 of them behind me.
Yeah, hold on. I'll
Wow,
be back.
5 points for Ark. Just immediately solves it.
So I've been looking at this. It has been decoded. I need to pull up the thing to read it. So there have been many, many theories. Let's go to twitter.com/UESP. I think it's UESP.net. Yeah. UESP_net on Twitter.
Okay, so I have here the Solitude coin. And it only makes sense when you turn it.
Okay.
Because
that-
if you flip it, Swagrim is upside down.
makes me
Yeah.
feel better. Okay.
And
So
I
it
have
must be a turn.
another confirmation. I have the Dark Heart of Skyrim coin with Lady Thorn on it.
Wait.
Yeah,
Where the hell is that from?
thing.
look, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I've never
worry
seen
about
that
it.
one.
You gotta share it with us.
Yeah, go to the Bethesda store. I don't think they're sold out of them.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I know. I've got some. I'll show you later. I got some weird coins that a lot of people don't have. We'll do a
Lotus
show and
is
tell
in the
sometime.
back just forging his own coins. Like
Yeah, I'm making my own coins. It's like, yeah,
Coin
man.
goblin.
It's just Lady Thorn's feet, just like the ESO fam has always wanted. So if you have this and you turn it, that's where you get the Greymoor top.
Oh, there you go.
Like,
yeah, it's got to be a turn. Yeah,
it would be a turn. So
that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I haven't lost my damn mind.
Yeah. No, you have not lost your mind.
Okay, so UESP has done me the favor of translating this for us. So
apparently I'm also very
face.
suspect because of this coin.
I know. Hold on. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Bitsy, but I know what happened to Lotus with all the coins. After farming those treasure goblin treasure scamps in the Imperial City for several days, he turned into one. He is now just hoarding coins as a treasure goblin and is being hunted. That's why he was running the 5K on treadmill as well. He's training himself to run away from other farmers. Yeah.
Yep. You couldn't see the burlap sack full of coins that I had while I was running.
All right. Yes.
Jingle,
translation.
jingle, jingle.
Sorry.
So the Dawn face reads, the top of it says, May runes Dagon. And the bottom says, destruction, change, ambition. And the quote-unquote weird bug face reads, ambition, one, power on the top, and strength, honor, revolution on the bottom. Now, UESP also mentioned, they saw Star Dancer from the stream team post hers. She has so the Dawn face is the same, but the back is a goat's head. And that one's like really clear. It's not like where you have to like squint and like tilt your head to figure out what the hell this one is, because I still don't see a bug. I'm trying really hard to see a bug. To me, it looks like the Thieves Guild logo with some cool stuff around it. I don't know. It's really cool looking. I just don't know what it is.
Honestly, so Dagon is the closest Daedra to like the classic biblical satanic.
Yeah, so the like, goat made sense.
Like demon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So goat makes sense, and a bug. I just can't see how a bug and Dagon would be related. Yeah.
So
like there's I would say it's a goat, or it's just straight up Dagon's face, which is again sort of would fit into that depiction of satanic goat figure, since he is kind of like that.
Like, if you look at it, like, the center kind of reminds me of the Thieves Guild logo. I know that's just a coincidence, but that's just what my brain goes to. So, like, there's all this, like, lattice stuff in front of it, but the center underneath looks like the Thieves Guild logo. And there's, like, two little horns on the side.
Honestly, you never know how they tie things up, so it's like...
I mean, that's the only thing I see, like, right away. I can't see bug. But it is a really cool symbol. And so there's a few things here. So the goat face reads, again, the face is the same. The tail side reads, the top says ambitions, knowledge, freedom. The bottom says wisdom, energy, adventure. Then, apparently, they have put it together. There's 3 coins. And there are 3 clans in service to Clan Dagon. The Shardai, Zivalai, and Dremora. The Shardai, I'm reading word for word from UESP Net's Twitter, so if you want to go follow them, it is UESP_net on Twitter. So Shardai is the vital but impulsive and undisciplined element of the destructive principle. Zivalai, the ambitious. So remember, mine said ambition twice on it. So I'm guessing mine is a Zivalai coin, if this is correct. But overreaching and imprudent side of destruction. The clan Dremora is the principle of destruction is evolution, aspiring to arts and powers of ever-increasing potency and aesthetic refinement. So, sound like there might be something that we're going to learn more about Daedra in general, the different types of lesser Daedra, so the Dremora, the Zivalai, and the Shardai. I'm butchering these pronunciations.
No, that's fine. Since we've been doing all sorts of cross-branding with stuff, we actually get substantially into this on the Elder Scrolls Lorecast from this week's episode. So we go through the clans and everything like that, kind of touching on each of them with it. And I'm sure that I butchered all of the names just as much. So don't feel bad.
That makes me feel better.
So,
to go deeper, now this is going over to twitter.com/TESbenefactor. Remember how when I just read that letter, it says the etchings on the coin will provide clues. If you look at the tail's face, sorry audio listeners, God, I can't even get my camera to focus on it. There's some little dots on the outer ring of this circle. So under the weird bug face, there's some dots that, like, at first you're like, oh, it's supposed to look like a handmade coin. Of course, there's going to be irregularities, but if you look at these dots, they suddenly look out of place whenever you really study the coin. Benefactor has matched up these dots with the Mysterium Xarxes, which was written by Mehrunes Dagon.
Oh.
And because there are some Daedric symbols within the circle area of the Mysterium Xarxes, and apparently they can correspond to the points on the coins. And I didn't have enough time to dig too far into this because I've been actively moving, so I'm going to link it to you guys.
Guars are evil.
Like, no, none of that, no.
Yes,
also,
3 dots. 3 dots on the Zibidin book says Guars are evil. Okay, that's what it says.
No, none of that. I know. I was gonna say Benefactor is a great person and would never push that slander to the world.
I don't know.
Apparently, the letters are NN. DOIVVED.
What was the first?
Don't know what the hell that's spelled. NN.
Yeah.
DOIVVED. They're thinking it is some kind of
Guars
anagram.
Are
that is
evil.
Not how you spell that. So, Benefactor says, I'm under the assumption right now that it could be an anagram, that sequence of letters, are the letters the dots correspond to on the goat coin. Surprisingly close to the 9 Dava and the goat mentioned in the crown store item. So I'm going to go to the crown store item, buy more goats. It's default. Oh man, it goes deeper. So if you read the description of this goat, the 9 Dava sacred goat is available in the Dwarven Crown crates as an epic level reward. Its default name is Hirsine. It was originally data mined as white goat in patch 2.1.0. But Hirsine and Dagon.
I see. That's 2 Daedra that I've never known to have relations to each other, either as allies or enemies or in any way.
Want to know who really hate each other? Which is also something that's been discussed in my Discord. Molag Bal. And
yes, that's. I've heard that bit. It's just. Oh man, this is very interesting.
We've got this goat. Goat's name is Hirsine. We've got Molag Bal, who laughs as you kill him and tells you everything's going perfectly to plan.
Yes,
this is supposed to happen.
Been saying that for years. I've been waiting for him to come back because of that.
Yeah.
We have Meridia, who was on our side at that moment, helping us take down Bal.
But then Somerset.
We have 3 clans serving Mehrunes Dagon, who have these cultists with these different coins. Some people are saying in Discord that it would be too straightforward to have to fight Mehrunes Dagon because we did that in Oblivion. What if?
And we only did that with
actually
the End of Kings.
Right.
Yeah. So what if this time Mehrunes Dagon requires a mortal's touch? Because if you remember, Lyranth is no fan of Molag Bal's.
Yeah, no,
Lyranth is the one
not so
contacting
much.
you. So, maybe she's no fan of Molag Balls. She is a fan of Mehrunes Dagon.
She does seem like the type, yeah.
Mehrunes suddenly needs a mortal's touch to deal with whatever bullshit Meridia and Molag Bal are suddenly up to. Maybe he's also recruited Percy because the goat?
That would actually make the trailer, like that teaser trailer, to make sense as well, because in there, whoever that character is, I don't remember the name, looks like she's, like, it doesn't look like she just stumbles upon or touches the book and suddenly she is standing with Mehrunes Dagon, but you could interpret it as Dagon summoning her to himself to have a chat, like with that altar and everything like that.
So another thing that I've read about the Mysterium Xarxes is it tends to corrupt the people who hold it. So she seems to have been carrying it for a while. She's having nightmares. So she might not be quite herself when we see her again.
I don't know who's going to be enemy or ally, but I really, really, really want to see Elder Scrolls Online story do a full turn. Because as you said, when you kill Molag Bal, he does say, even this, like you killing me or sort of destroying his avatar, whatever, is still part of my plans because I am the damn god of schemes and plans. Like, this is what I do. So you winning, quote unquote, is still part of my plans. And since then, I've been waiting for this to make a full turn and go back to that whole Molag Bal storyline.
Something else to keep in mind, too, this is not the Mythic Dawn. This is the Order of the Waking Flame. And I feel like that might be significant. We've been conditioned to dislike the Order, or we've been conditioned to dislike the Mythic Dawn. We've not been conditioned to dislike the Order of the Waking Flame. I don't know of any records about them, so we were talking about it in Discord.
That Daedra, Lyranth, whatever his name is.
Or whatever?
Yeah. She's never been an enemy either in any of the storylines.
Not really. She's actually your quest giver.
Yeah, she's always
she's
there.
Helping you along, snarkily.
Supporting character. She sometimes even
she
helps
says,
you.
While it benefits her, she'll help you.
Yeah, which is a very...
But we never just stab her in the face, like...
Right. I like her.
Yeah, I do
She's
too.
Cool.
Interesting.
I'm happy they're bringing her back instead of somebody who's died in the past, to be completely honest with you. It's really deep. So I feel like we hit the nail on the head with Zone before. I think we know where we're going as far as Leowen and Bravel.
Skindrad. If it's Skindrad, it's sort of on the other side of where we expect it to be. But a lot of people seem to be thinking Leowen or Bravel.
Which
I think we can get both. Leowen and Bravel's going to be the main expansion. Skingrad's going to be the DLC.
Could be.
I would agree with that. I think that could be the case.
So which Daedra princes have we not seen or get involved with in ESO? Dagon.
Mehrunes Dagon.
Well, I mean, they've all been technically referenced. How extreme...
Yeah, but like as a massive plot.
As like a massive thing?
So Meridia and Molag Bal, obviously very direct. Mephala was very direct with the whole Somerset.
Nocturnal has been very direct.
Yeah, Nocturnal and Clavicus Vile. Those two were together anyway.
So we've had a lot of Periite, but never...
as a threat, like a direct Daedra threat.
A direct threat. There's a lot to do with Periite, but
is
not...
Is Periite
like
ever a direct threat? Periite is like...
No.
Periite, whatever.
Yeah, Periite gives... Yeah.
Like, literally, like, in Skyrim, they pretty much say Periite's a wimp, so he tries to make himself look like a dragon, so he feels better.
I was going to say, you just buy one pack of Mucinex from the Crown Store, and Periite's out of commission. That's the end of it, so...
So, another thing to keep in mind, I know I said that the Mysterium Xarxes corrupts the carrier of it, but she was having a nightmare, which immediately makes my brain go to Vermina.
Yep, I was going to say, so there's Vermina. There's been a lot of what do you call it? There's been a decent bit with Azura from Morrowind. You actually even get the emote or whatever, where she like possesses you. There's the best of all of them with Hermaeus Mora, who is almost non-existent. However, now that Wes Johnson is back,
dude, they gotta give voice to more characters to Wes Johnson.
Wait, he voiced Hermaeus Mora?
He does voice Hermaeus Mora.
Honestly, 85% of Oblivion is Wes Johnson.
And to be fair, Morrowind too, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Wes Johnson's voice in Markarth is freaking amazing.
Oh, yes.
Dude, that's an amazing voice.
Yes. For the Despot, he awesome. Loved what he did with that.
I haven't finished the story Markarth though, so don't spoil.
All right, I won't go into it, but yeah, he's just like he does a great job with that. And the other character, personally, without going into that expansion, the voice acting, I feel, which is always good, was exceptional in Markarth.
It was.
All of the random characters I liked, but the other one, which it's Arana. I'll just leave it at that. If you've gotten to the storyline where you know where she is, that's fine. Whatever. I love that character.
I love her
good.
So much.
Yep. So it was like, just a lot of really good voice acting.
There were a lot of new characters introduced with
now I'm thinking,
Markarth that I really like.
Most of these Daedric princes, they are not the types to attempt a full invasion, though.
No, because I was going to say, it's mentioned in chat, because we got, there's Sanguine, there's Shigalag, which would be kind of funny. Just intermediate Grey March. But there's also Malakath,
Boethia.
What do you call it? Yeah, Boethia. Yeah, Boethia could wreak some good havoc. But yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't know. I'm very curious. I personally, before we knew any of this junk, it's very split on whether people like the idea of a Daedric plot or if it's played out. It's fine to have another game where it's like not, but at this point, it's like, I feel so much larger than life in game that it's like, nah, you gotta give me like Daedric Prince quality enemies here. Because as much as I enjoyed the Dark Heart of Skyrim, a lot of times when it was like vampires and werewolves coming at me, I was like, get out of my way, you garbage.
I
don't care about you.
Imagine you fight Moloch Balls, Avatar.
Yeah.
And
it's like
then a vampire shows up acting all
here.
high and mighty and like, dude, I just came from killing dragons. Who are you? What are you?
Exactly.
I really want a full circle, but not in an obvious way. Not like, hey, we fight Moloch Ball again, but like a plot twist that will throw me off so bad that I will think Elder Scrolls Online has the greatest plot twist in RPG history.
Yeah, they have the potential to like really pull off some crazy stuff if they just commit to it. So like, oh man,
because they laid the groundwork for it with how Meridia is acting up, how Moloch Ball was 5 years ago was like, haha, this was my plan, and how like 3 Daedra got together in Somerset, how in Clockwork City we got involved with Sora Sil and his dealings with the Daedra.
Yeah.
It's all intertwined for 5 years. It is the perfect moment to give us an amazing plot twist.
It would be almost as amazing of a long haul plot twist as Ark actually being in Aldmeri Dominion.
Yeah, it would. It'll have almost the same exact time frame, actually.
Which means it has to happen. We're going to be fighting for Mehrunes Dagon, folks.
Man, we were having a nice discussion, like lore stuff, theory crafting, and you had to bring in that.
Saying, Ark, you are the template for this betrayal.
They were like, oh man, this is a great idea. We're totally stealing that.
I'm sad now.
So yes, speculations abound. No, it's the greatest.
When I was in game with Gina, she was like, "Isn't there one of the hosts of Tales who really hates Gwar? She said who really enjoys Gwar." And I knew exactly which one she was talking about. It was not Lotus. So they know you. They know you, Ark.
I know they know me.
I forget what it was. I think it was back when the Lore Seekers were still on, and they were talking to. I don't know. It was Gina or Jess.
Gina. Yeah.
It was Gina.
And they made some reference,
5
like
minutes
somebody mentioned a Gwar.
5 minutes in, Gina being on Lore Seekers podcast, and I get a reference, I get a slap in the face with the Gwar stuff from Gina on Lore Seekers podcast. Not even here. 5 minutes in.
Classic.
The thing is, they mentioned because at the time we were doing raids with the PCEU of Lore Seekers and Lore Seekers podcast when they were doing the ESO show. They had this section like what's happening in the Lore Seekers community. So they mentioned like our PCEU guild is running raids regularly, and Ark from Tales is there, and then Gina goes like, "Oh yeah, she's the one that likes Gwars, right?" I'm like, "Come on, that's out of the left field. That's just not nice, Gina." But yeah, it's
perfect.
And then Finn remembers how stupidly I run dungeons, apparently, when he was on this show.
They are memorable.
True. I will agree that the way I run and the way I do dumb shit in dungeons might be memorable to the guy who creates the dungeons.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so it is physically impossible to make some people notice the mechanics before they happen. Got it.
Yeah. Hey, it was a teaching moment, okay? I was just trying to show Finn that sometimes the players cannot be reasoned with.
Exactly.
That's
Try as you might.
Had to learn.
We won't learn.
That's something I had to learn as a developer was people will take something that seems so obvious and just do it completely wrong and not see how they're the wrong ones. And if it breaks because they do it wrong, it's on you and not on them. Like, you have to get, like, he's just being QA for them. That's all it is. The game could have completely crashed whenever he did his slash bucket thing. But it didn't. And
so slash bucket slash works at this point, and this point, and this point, and this point.
Exactly. It's great.
I just showed that even if you never watch the mechanics that they show up until the boss fight, you can still complete it after like Googling it for like 20 minutes. It's fine.
Oh my God. it's and good. The Google descriptions that weren't right.
Oh yeah, that was so fun. Amazing. We were like,
we were like, oh, we got to do this, and because I guess I was on my lunch break for that stream, and it was just like, that's a terrible video if that's how they just told you to do that.
I was running Unhallowed Grave on the launch day with Pugs, right? For anyone who don't know what happened, basically. So I was running Unhallowed Grave on the launch day with some Pugs, and Finn was actually in chat. Mike Finnegan, the lead dungeon/encounter designer, he was watching. He generally watches like the streams on the launch day of dungeon DLCs to both enjoy and get feedback and stuff like that. So I was in chat, and there's this boss fight that you have to do something specific, and they show the mechanic, what you need to do like 5 times before you get to that boss fight. The problem is, throughout the entire time, apparently, that was happening, I was just busy going up to these random statues in the boss in the dungeon and doing emotes, basically doing slash bucket splash, doing like shoveling somewhere, doing the hammering like repair emote and things like that. And then we got to the boss fight, and we just keep dying. I'm like, Finn, is this right? And he's like, we showed this 5 times. I wasn't paying attention. And then one of the Pugs looked it up on YouTube, and he came back and he was like, yeah, I watched the video. So this is this and this and this is what we do. And Finn was in chat, like, yeah, they watched a bad video. And so it turns out, yeah, we kept dying again. And Finn didn't tell me what to do either. He was like, get good, I don't care.
Yeah.
So he showed you this 5 times.
Yeah, it was like, we put this mechanic in and showed us 5 times. I'm not telling you. So yeah, it took us about 20-25 because it was the launch date. There weren't like guides and whatnot out there just yet. So yeah, it took us a while until we got it right. And then we brought Finn on the show on Tails. And turns out he hasn't forgotten that. I do dumb shit.
Still insulted all those months later.
Yeah. So that's the background of that whole ordeal.
Yep.
It was great.
Yeah, I love them.
It is great.
They low-key called they low-key called me like the ZAS Twitter and the dev team.
Oh yeah.
They called me noob. They told me to get good because of the dumb stuff I do.
That boss in general was the thing where there was the discussion of it is very hard to make people look up. Vertical is not, and it's funny because the Kiln boss was the one that he convinced you to go talk to the Kiln boss, right, Pixie, and press E to interact with. Yeah, I was gonna say. So you had to press E to interact with it, and the Kiln boss killed you. And when I did it blind,
like an idiot.
I remember mine was less outright stupid and more what is the matter with me directly after, because I feel like that boss just messed with everybody to start with. We actually pieced it together pretty quick on our blind run. We're like, oh, okay, so there's this thing about going up. We went up, we cleared the sigils, we were all excited, we jumped down, and we're like, all right, nothing's happening. And we lit on fire and died. We were so proud of ourselves for figuring out to go up, find the sigil, that we forgot to continue to do damage to break her shield. To do the mechanic. We just were like, yeah, we figured it out. And then we stood there like idiots and she just cooked us alive. And I was like, oh, yeah, we actually need to do the fight as well. We don't get to just say we figured it out and win. It doesn't work like that.
So to be clear, we did go up. Like, we went up, we saw sigils on the ground. We didn't know what the hell to do with the sigils.
Yep.
And then we jumped down, and then we figured out eventually she would stab that sigil. We didn't know what we did to make her stab that sigil. So I actually ran it through a second time. So what happened was, like, halfway through the dungeon, I forget who it was who had to drop, but somebody from the group had to drop, and we brought Bronze Solo from Sons of Sithis on to finish out the dungeon with us. So then we're like, okay, you didn't actually get the full clear because you didn't do the first few bosses, and we want you to get, like, the achievement or whatever. So then we're like, we'll just run it through really quick. Now we know what it is. It's not going to be that bad. So we go back to the beginning, everything's a breeze, get to the Kiln boss, and we go up top, and we're like, okay, it's this sigil, we need to bring it to this sigil. And then she just, like, wouldn't stab. We're like, the fuck do we do to get her to stab?
Yep.
So what we were doing was damaging her too quickly, so she was stabbing too soon.
She was stabbing before she was in the symbol. I've done that if you go with real heavy DPS people. She'll stab, and then she needs to put up a shield, and then you need to do it again.
Right.
Like,
so we were like, what do we do? We're so confused. And at that point, Finn had joined chat. So I was like, listen, man, I've already cleared this. I know what we need her to do. What do I do to make her do it? Because she's just not stabbing. Like, we know we need to bring her here. She's not stabbing this thing. I thought maybe it would just trigger whenever she steps on it. We can't get it to trigger. And he was like, oh, it's like a synergy, only instead of pressing X like the other ones, you walk up to her and you press E as if you're going to talk to her. So you press E to activate. So then I went up and tried to talk to the boss, which she didn't fucking like very much, and immediately annihilated me.
Oh, F you, Finn.
Oh, man. I was so gullible too. Like, as soon as he said, it's like you talk to her, I should have realized what was happening. But my dumbass is like, no, he wouldn't do this to me. I said I already cleared it. I have the achievement. Like, clearly he just wants to help because this is something that just wasn't clear. No.
I personally,
out.
So that was one of the things I actually like. Without making the boss invincible or any of that stuff, I liked that was like a way to force you to control your burn without doing anything weird. It was just like, well, when her shield cracks, she does this, and she'll get her shield back. So if you damage her too much, you'll crack her shield too early, and you'll have to do it again. But it's like that's almost like a good damage control check without just being like, oh, you're doing too much damage. The boss is invincible now. It's like that's a pretty creative way where it's like, okay, well, you need to get the boss to do this, and it's controlled by you doing damage when we need you to do damage, which I don't know. I like that. I thought that was a pretty creative boss.
Something like that, too, in Lair of Marsalok hard mode, whenever you have Celine doing her nonsense. If you kill Celine too fast, she'll come up again at a really
she'll come up at inconvenient times.
Yeah, and that was an issue we ran into when we were running
God,
during that hole. Oh my god. Yeah, it took us a while before we figured out like we need to control damage on Celine and make sure we either kill her immediately so that way we have time to kill her a second time, or just ignore her for a little while and kill her flashbacks right before.
I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah. That was a rough. Moongrave Fane and Lair of Marsalok hard modes. Moongrave Fane, because I couldn't see anything, because everything in that dungeon is red and transparent. Like, red and transparent. The background is red, the ghosts are red, everything is transparent, the fire is red, the AoEs are red. Why, Finn? Why?
I was going to say, now I'm super excited for Tales because of yesterday's stream where Pixie was in Moongrave Fane.
Oh, I have stories from that one.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we have anything left to discuss at this point? So we discussed the...
No, I guess...
I think it's Tales time.
Yeah, I think we can actually just straight move into Tales.
Just want to say, though, this is the first time we actually got to discuss those reveal objects firsthand, and that's thanks to Pixie.
Yeah, exactly.
We were always discussing them off of pictures, and for the first time on Tales today, we got to discuss them in object.
I was going to say, well, you got to showcase them for us.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Like, whatever. So the thing was, I moved, and it got sent to my old house an hour away. So I had to have my mom pick up the package because I didn't know what it was. And I was scared that it was going to get stolen off my front porch. Because I lived like, right on
you
the
guys
main
have
road.
that problem in America.
Yes.
It's so
Do they not steal packages in Turkey?
No, they literally cannot drop it in your door. They have to bring it back or bring it back again. Like, they have to give it to you in person. There is no, I dropped this on your porch and it's out of my responsibility. It's their responsibility until I have my hand on the package here.
It's like, here's your PS5. Hope you find it in time before somebody else. But
I'm so confused by that whole ordeal. Like, how do you just drop it there? There is a concept of porch stealers there. That is such a strange concept.
I know
to me.
it.
Yeah, that's why, like, whenever they were announcing, this was so many years ago now, where they announced the Amazon drone delivery service, I was like, that's just going to become a sport in the South to just shoot those
shooting them
down. Yeah, that's just going to be what people do for fun, is they're going to shoot down people's expensive Amazon packages and claim them.
That would be quite cyberpunk though, like nomads just taking down transport drones.
We've also had a lot of practice too, because I mean it's essentially just shooting down a care package in Call of Duty. So like you're just watching somebody get their kill streak. It's like, I see a PS5, pop, 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 and it's like, now I have a PS5. This is my care package.
I mean, I would be very sad if I got that stolen, like from a package from Zos. Jeez.
Right.
Stress.
So, whenever right before Cyberpunk came out, like on Black Friday, they did a Black Friday and Cyber Monday deal on the CDPR store. And the shipping was like really weird, and like things, things did not go well on the CDPR store for me whenever I tried to place an order. It kept like giving me really weird errors about my address, which was clearly a valid address, and it kept saying it was not. So I signed up because I knew it was coming via FedEx. I signed up for this FedEx informed delivery thing where it goes off of anything being delivered to that address that you register it to. So I was like, okay, I'll know, even though it's not showing me, because like as soon as I placed the order, it like immediately said that it had already been delivered on the Cyberpunk website. I'm like, no, it has not. Or it said completed. I was like, what the hell does that even mean? It's not completed. I don't have the item.
They just launched it into your house with artillery, just like...
Apparently. And so I had this FedEx thing set up. So now I get this message randomly. I was just sitting at the new place saying, you have a delivery scheduled for the 31st. And it's going to be there at such and such time. And I'm like, oh shit, that's the wrong address. I live at this house now. That's an hour away. I'm like, my mom still lives there. So I was able to like, she lives in like right down the road from my old house. I was like, listen, Mom, I need you to, at like noon, go to my house.
Get this very important package.
She's like, oh, well, what is it? I'm like, I have no idea, but I think it's from ZeniMax because it's coming from Baltimore.
This being such a common problem, as far as I've seen online, like the porch teas being such a common problem, how has no one so far created a box, just a box, drop box, you put in front of your house, it has a lock that basically recognizes the most common delivery companies like Amazon, UPS, USPS, things like that. So the delivery guy comes up, he has a key thing on his keychain. Just a RFID thing, whatever. He points it at the box, the lock thing. It opens up. He drops the box inside the thing, locks it back up, and only the delivery people can open it.
Some like mail services do that. I think.
Ah, man, my shot at being rich. It's gone.
Yeah, I was gonna.
So
patented.
At my new house, so at my old place, we were out in the boonies. I just had a regular old mailbox. At this place, because we're in like a community, in like a subdivision type of deal, at the front of the community, there's like community mailboxes. So like you each have your like designated mail thing, and there's like these bigger mailboxes on the bottom that are apparently exactly what you described. I haven't figured out how those work because I haven't got a package at this house yet. But apparently, as a matter of fact, the only packages I have gotten have been dropped off at my doorstep again. But sometimes, apparently, you will get a package. This is what my dad told me because he lived in one of these situations before.
It is so strange.
You get a package and they'll put it in one of the big mailboxes and they'll put the key to that mailbox in your mailbox. And it'll say, like, open this mailbox for your package. I don't know if that's actually how it works because I haven't seen it firsthand, but that's what my dad said. He's like, they put the actual key to the mailbox in your mailbox. And the key has a tag on it that says which mailbox to go to get your actual package.
See, our solution is we just live on this doom mountain that's like really, really vertical. So you need to be dedicated to the cause just to drop off the package on my porch. Nobody's coming up here because you can't even see much of the house from the street. So like they're committed to the fact that there is going to even be anything up there. And at that point, they're going to be winded and they're on my property so I can shoot them for sport. So it's really just in everybody's best interest just to just not come for my packages.
I mean, it's just illegal to not give it to the person that you are supposed to give it. So they can just drop it and go. That's illegal. They can't do it.
Yeah.
Packages that are like over, I don't know how they decide that the package needs to be signed for, but there are some packages.
I know you can request it.
Yeah. So like say you're getting something that's $1,000. Like I think my boyfriend's drum set, which was an expensive drum set, whenever it got delivered, he had to sign for it. So he had to actually be there in person. I think I had to sign for my Nintendo Switch too. So if it's over X amount of dollars, you have to be home to receive it.
Yeah.
But for a lot of things, it dropped off.
Yeah.
I can order, like I can order one empty box inside a box, and they have to hand deliver it to me.
Yeah. No, here it's largely like.
I guess there is also the fact that like US has a massive land size, so I guess but if they're not at home, bringing it back to the storage and then bringing it back, or I guess it might. Yeah, it's different. It's still such a strange concept that they can steal your stuff off your doorstep.
Well, it got brought up in chat too. There's the other problem of you need the delivery person to give a shit, which most often they do not. And it's just like, here's your package, and they just chuck it against the side of your house and drive off. And they're like, yeah, it got delivered probably. I don't know, whatever. Like, it's not my problem.
Around the holidays, it really all falls apart.
Yeah. So, different mentality as well.
I suppose, yeah.
But it was seriously really cool to get this thing. Like, I was so excited, whatever. So basically, what we had to do, my mom had to pick it up. And then that late that night is when my boyfriend got home with the package, because he was like wrapping things up at the old house. He got home at like 2 a.m. So I was out. I didn't get to open it until the next morning. But if he would have woken me up, I would have opened it in the middle of the night. But he didn't, because he saw that I was sleeping. He was trying to be nice. But it was so cool, like, actually getting a thing, because, like, I saw the Wrathstone tablet go out and the letters from Sai Sahan. Man, I'd love to get one of those one day. It was so cool to, like, actually get one. It made me feel good.
All right, so, Tales time. Lotus, I'm gonna leave you to be the last, because, again, I feel like you have the most fun, wholesome, like
perfect.
very, very nice, sort of like good for your soul type tales.
Yeah,
so
relax.
we're gonna leave you to last. Yeah. I've been doing battlegrounds and battlegrounds and battlegrounds and battlegrounds and battlegrounds. I'm trying to perfect my warden, basically. I also opened the Arkaniir Potentate. Okay, so this is where the Zas people should listen. Okay. This is where the Zas people should listen, because I'm done. I've had enough.
Oh no.
Enough is enough, okay? I opened that Arkaniir Potentate preview crate and got another freaking guar. Stop already. Come on.
Guars are they gonna give you?
I have all sorts of like Apex guars, the other guar. Every freaking time I open a preview crate, I have the Sovereign Guard Pony Guar, I have the Gloomspore Guar, I have the Arkaniir Guar, I have the Dragon Scale Guar. Stop giving me Guars. Whoever put that if Ark give Guar code in there, Zas, remove it. Okay? The joke has gone far enough. I think stop. Just put if Ark don't give Guar, or if you're gonna give Guar, give nothing. I'd rather have nothing than I have Guar. Okay? Just stop. I don't know. Revert that comment. Find it in your Git history, whatever you're using. Revert it to the old version. Delete it. Do something. Don't give me crates. I don't know if I'd rather not have the crates if it's gonna have Guars. This has gone far enough. All right?
That is my favorite tale from you already.
Yes.
Nick, you look back to the last couple years, and it's like I opened the Dragon Scale Guar, and bam, Apex Dragon Scale or whatever those were called, the Guar, pops up. I opened the preview crate for that Gloomspore, the mushroom ones, which are like the already ugly. So then you had to put it on a Guar, and it was like ugly squared.
Hold on. The Gloomspore cinch is fucking cool. And it has a glowy mushroom tail. The whole reason I play Elder Scrolls Online is cool mushrooms. And they made a freaking mushroom mount. And you're going to say they're ugly? No. The whole thing. I said it started with the Telvanni mushroom towers. I'm clearly only here for the mushrooms.
Those Telvanni mushroom towers are the ugliest architecture ever existed as well.
Freaking cool! What are you talking about?
I feel
mushrooms.
like the mushroom thing is one of the most divisive aesthetic things. When they had the Gloomspore like pets and mounts, people were either like, "This is the greatest thing ever," or it's just I can't stop throwing up on my like Twitter feed. It's like, wow, these things are really like one extreme or another here.
They were gorgeous.
So yeah,
the sound effects were really cool.
And then I don't even know where I got it. When I got it. I must have deleted from my memory, but I have the most outrageous, blasphemous guar, pony, the small guar, the Sovngarde. I don't even know where the hell that came from. I don't remember it. But apparently I have it. A guar does not belong in Sovngarde. Okay? It just doesn't.
How dare you?
That doesn't make any sense. That's just rude. That's just blasphemous. That's heresy. So there's that, and I have that too. And now I open the Akaviri crate, and boom, what do I get? The Akaviri guar. Akaviri are already the enemy, and the guar enemy. So that's enemy squared. And then the other one is ugly squared. And then the Sovngarde one is heresy squared. So no more guars, please. And that's my rant. I hope Zas listened
Ark,
to it.
then guar.
No. You don't even code Lotus.
Nope.
No.
Right. I'm going to learn how to code just this.
I do.
Yep.
I code, and I agree.
Perfect.
Why do you agree? Oh my god.
I agree because you just called the Gloomspore mounts ugly. I love those freaking mounts.
Mushrooms are ugly.
Mushrooms are
Guars
awesome.
are evil. Mushrooms are ugly.
No, mushrooms are really cool
And
and,
high
they're
elves are
very
bad.
delicious.
And Altmere
now we
Dominion
just know-
sucks.
Let's ask Art from episode 25 and let's see what he still thinks.
Yep. Now I know that's not true.
Arc for
Kind
episode
of familiar.
25 can go eat dirt.
Can I go eat
some
mushrooms?
I guess. Alright, Pixie, your tales.
Okay, so first off, my tales are a little bit short because I've been moving to a new house and there was an internet delay and that was a tragedy. But because of the internet delay, I got to test out a fun thing and we've been hitting on it a little bit and making fun of it, but also sometimes standing for it. So I moved to this new place. I am in like an internet black hole before I got like cable installed. And I hardly had a cell phone signal. Downstairs, I can't do anything. But if I go upstairs, I can connect to Stadia. So the only way I have been able to do this event and get my Crimson Indrik in time before the event expires was to play on my phone on Stadia. Because I didn't have enough of a signal to hotspot appropriately. It would just keep kicking me off. But I could play on my phone on Stadia every night if I sat by the window upstairs.
That sounds like, a kid in 80s trying to game or something. It's like,
I'm just seriously, I'm picturing you by like the window upstairs. The window's open and you have a fan in the window pulling in extra signal with the hopes that you'll stay connected.
I did get kicked out a few times, and it was kind of like a slideshow at times. And it would keep warning me, your signal is unstable. You might not be able to play this. Like,
hey, you got your login though. Yeah,
I did. So I was able to get my preview crate that I wouldn't have been able to get otherwise, and I was able to get every single day of tickets while I did not have internet because of Stadia. And I couldn't fight for shit because it's on-screen controls.
Yeah.
But it's like, I was able to do the old life quest because it's just port to thing, click on thing 3 times, port back, turn in quest, get tickets. And it was great. And I was like, oh my god, this is what Stadia is for. This is amazing. And I was so happy. And I was like, you know what? Everybody can talk shit about Stadia all they want. I am a really huge super fan. I might be one of 12 of us, but I am happy.
I was gonna say,
my damn Crimson Indrik.
it seemed like, to be fair, this was the pinnacle use for this where it's just like, I have no option. Oh my God, I have one option. And Stadia just bumbles in the room and it's just like, I got you. And you're like, it saved the day here. Amazing.
Exactly. And it was great. And I was like, wow, so useful. And like, it was a low signal environment. I did a speed test and 1 megabit per second download. So whenever I say I'm in an internet black hole, I'm not joking. It's a brand new community. Apparently AT&T has not put up towers here yet. It's really rough sometimes. Now that I have internet, it's fine, except in my office, which is the only place the Wi-Fi won't reach. So like I had to go out and buy an abnormally long Ethernet cable so that way I can do cable management, which like in my like square webcam that I use for stream is fine, but you can clearly see poor cable management over here because I threw this together at the last minute. But anyway, so I managed to get all those daily logins using Stadia. And once I got internet, I was like, I'm going to stream. And this was yesterday. So I decided, so it was prog night. We hadn't progged in forever. I had clearly not been playing ESO except on my phone badly. Other than that, I didn't have internet, so I was on Cyberpunk, which does not require internet. And so it's just a good time. So we're like, okay, we don't really feel like doing March of Sacrifices. Kiz, what do you want to run? It's your turn to pick. And Kiz is like, well, I need Moongrave Fane and like a couple others. I was like, I mean, I'm down for any one of those. One of them was Lara Marsalak, so I was really hoping they didn't pick that one. But it's like, you know, if we don't win that one, I already have that clear anyway, so it's not even that big of a deal for me, but it sucks for everybody else. So we end up picking Moongrave Fane. And I remember you guys having a time. You know, Lego's telling us it's not that bad. Other people are telling us, I mean, it's really hard, but you got it. You just got to communicate. And like, okay.
Right.
We get to the first boss, the Rocky dude. I immediately realized I have no idea how to play this game.
Perfect.
I let everyone die. We wiped like 7 times on the first boss just because I was being an idiot. And I should have been I should have been healing people and not standing in the way.
I was going to say healing people is a healer. Definite positive.
I don't know what the hell I was doing on the first boss. After the first boss, things started to drastically look up. I finally remembered how to play the game. I remember where my buttons were. Until we got to the final boss. And I had never done the hard mode before. I cleared it on normal. Or on vet, non-hard mode. Like, I know the mechanics in here. How different can hard mode be? It's probably just going to be more health, maybe an extra mechanic.
No.
Turns out the whole thing's a fucking healer check.
Oh, yeah. A hard one, too. An aggressive healer check.
So I was told
it's like Cloud Rest, but worse.
Yeah, really. So I was told you heal them to full health and the debuff goes away. So I thought it was just like Tombs, where you literally heal them to full health and it goes away. And it stops hurting them, no more debuff. No, that's not what the mechanic was. Apparently I was told wrong. And the debuff is essentially a heal shield where I have to heal for 40k for them to be able to receive more heals.
Yep. Correct.
So, Kiz...
Basically, it's an inverse shield.
Also, not only that, bullshit. But it doesn't apply to one person, but anyone who touches that stupid box or those horror blood stuff.
Which of course I kept fucking doing because I had no idea. I didn't mean to touch the box or the hoarders. It just happened.
I mean, ESO's targeting isn't very precise either, so it happens.
Well, I mean, I just ran right into the bugs like an idiot, so that was also me.
Yeah, that won't help because they do that little spray in front of them in like a little cone.
So first pull, I was told tab target. No, first pull, I was just told heal them to full. I immediately accidentally hit the box. I got the debuff on me. We all died. And they're like, don't touch the fucking box. Tab target the boss. Heal them to full. Okay, fine. I can do that. And then I got the debuff on me. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't touch the box. I've been tab targeting this boss. I don't know what the fuck the problem is. And then they're like, oh, well, you touched the Horror. I was like, well, nobody told me not to touch the Horror. How was I supposed to know? I didn't Google this one because it
don't touch anything in
we started. Because we didn't even decide which one we were doing until I was already streaming. So I didn't exactly have time to go look up a guide or anything. So I was just like flying by the seat of my pants, just relying on everybody else to tell me things.
Yeah.
So
that's not a good one for that.
Don't touch Horror. Don't touch Box. Don't breathe in anything's general direction if it's not healing someone to full health, which again is not the point. Because, so Kiz would go and do something that would give him the debuff. It would also cut his health in half. So then I'm like, okay, Kiz at half health. I know that it'll take maybe 1 to 2 Necromancer AoE burst heals to get him to full health. 1 to 2 max. I'd bam, hit him with 2. He's still at half health. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? So then I'm like, okay, Illustrious Healing, Healy Ball, Combat Prayer. Cause I'm like, shit, is my Necro Burst heal dead? Like, did they break it? And finally, he would be healed to full. I was like, okay, you're out of the debuff. I don't know what that just was. But then, like, he would get hit by it again, and I'd be like, okay, clearly the first time was a bug, because I was able to heal him. I just had to, like, spam Combat Prayer a million times. So I was like, just out of habit, because it's muscle memory at this point, Necro AoE, fucking nothing. I'm like, why isn't his health going up? What are these brackets? Like, I kept, like, trying to mention it while we were running, but I was explaining it so poorly that nobody knew what my question was or why I was confused. Because I'm like, kids would be like, heal me. I'm like, I am fucking healing you. I don't know what you want from me. I'm pressing my biggest heal, my biggest burst heal. It's not doing anything. I don't know what you want. And I was so frustrated. I was like, I don't understand. We got down to 25% with me not knowing what I was doing at all. Then kids
the heal check in there is brutal.
Well, Kiz messaged me this morning was like, there's a 40k heal shield, essentially.
Yes.
And I was like, well, shit, I would have done this completely differently if I would have known that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have just been spamming that, because that wasted all of my magicka. Because
right.
I should have just been able to heal you to full if there was no, like, weird shield thing in 2 hits with that, but it wasn't, and that was frustrating me, but I kept trying it anyway like a dumbass. Now, for whatever, so Bard was doing... The only debuff he had on him was from the box. So he wasn't actually hurt. So he was already at full health. And I remember asking them, like, Bard's already at full. How do I heal someone to full health who's already at full health?
Right.
So then I would just keep hitting him with combat prayer. So it's like worst case scenario, he gets a DPS boost. Which, since it's such a quick cast, like, I hit 40k pretty quickly. And he was also standing closer to the tank. So he was getting hit by that illustrious healing and the Healy balls. So... that I lucked into getting him out of that. But with Kiz, I immediately went into, I'm going to burst heal the fuck out of him to get him to full health. And I just completely misunderstood the mechanic. So if we go back in there, it's going to be like a completely different person playing, because I actually understand the mechanic now.
Yeah. As opposed to they just need to be healed. It's the best way it was explained to me, not that I need to heal it, but just when I would get it again, I shouldn't have been getting it. It was something went wrong if I ended up with one. But yeah, that inverse shield thing is a brutal debuff. And then obviously I know you had gotten it a couple times.
What?
If you get it, it's you get, I mean, you basically, it's the equivalent of like the massive debuff to your healing. So it's just like you are screwed trying to heal yourself out of that unless somebody else is going to heal you, which is ultra rough. So
I can heal myself with the debuff? I was told you can't heal yourself with the debuff.
I don't think you can.
I think it does 8% or 10% of your healing. So essentially, no, you can't. Yeah, I think you do something, but I think it's the equivalent of when you have from Cloud Rest what the hell is the thing called? When the if you don't dodge roll the Baneful Barb.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. It's essentially that type of deal. And as Lego put, dying would probably be quicker than
and
trying
like,
to
if you could heal yourself, Dragon Knights would be immune to that effect because you're already missing health. You could just spam green dragon blood, which heals based on your missing health. But because your missing health wouldn't be going up because of the shield, you could just use the green dragon blood with maximum effect if it wasn't for the self-heal reduction thingy. Also,
and it's
completely irrelevant. I didn't realize Storm was on the desk, so I thought he was in the back on the floor, and I was like, what sort of a giant freaking cat is that? Until I realized he's actually on the desk there with you. So
yeah, I have a pull-out part of my desk, which is where like I attach my microphone.
I thought that was part of the carpet.
Nope. Storm is a Sentrat.
Yeah, I was looking at it while you were. I was like, that is a massive freaking cat. What is that? Is that a dog? He keeps
licking his butt on the camera, so I keep having to move him. And it's been a problem the whole time. I don't know if you saw me like immediately pick him up and hold him like a baby. Like, no, you're not gonna lick your butt there.
Yeah, he's showing off.
What is your problem?
He likes an audience.
But apparently. But he kept screaming at the door, so I couldn't just like. But at that point, he's degrading audio quality. So I'll just let him in. How bad can it be? It's like, well, apparently it's grooming hour, but he's still licking himself, just more appropriate parts of himself at this point. But here he goes again. But so that was a time. That's gonna be better next time. We got him close with me being completely clueless as to what I was actually supposed to be doing.
With a little more practice and also now knowing that, you guys were making solid progress. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next time you run that, you'll probably clear it.
There's one problem that I realized that you guys had. And you actually mentioned it at the very beginning of details as well. So you said it was Kiz's time to pick. You gave Kiz the option to choose something, and that was your initial mistake. So maybe next time don't do that. Like,
I blame Lego for that one. Sorry, Lego. He said, "Let the Brit choose." So.
No. Well, yeah, see, bad mistake.
Yeah,
Lego enjoys pain. I think it's a tank thing. I really do. His Lotus enjoys pain, and he's also a tank main.
Yeah, I mean.
That could be truth. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
We'll accept that.
You know what? I'm not going to fight that either.
Have spoken.
Yeah. I was going to say. All right. Fine.
Speaking of tanks and pain, I was an idiot tonight. I was like, I need to do pledges for transmutes. I would like to tank something. I don't feel like healing tonight. I just want to tank. So I'm like, yeah, let's do pledges. I didn't even stop to think about what the pledges were. I recruited a couple of friends. Kids volunteered. The other people I forced into servitude for the night. Then they're
as you do.
Do you know what the pledge for tonight is? The DLC? I was like, no. And they're like, it's Castlethorn. I'm like, oh, fucking course it's Castlethorn. You know, the one that I've spent so much freaking time in. I'm like, okay, if anybody can figure out how to randomly do Castlethorn on a tank, it's me, because I've been in here so many times. I should know this like the back of my hand. Nope. I apparently am completely clueless as to how to tank that Castlethorn. So, go into the dungeon. I'm feeling real good. First boss goes down easy, except a couple people die, but they aren't me, so it's fine. So I continue on. I realize things really hurt. But I'm like, I'm blocking it. I'm dodge rolling. I know how to tank. It's fine. And we get to the dude with the blood pool. At first, somebody, I think it was, I remember laughing about it. Maestro had been talking so much shit about, whenever I told him don't go into the blood pool, like, oh, is there no lifeguard on duty? And all of this stuff, cracking jokes about, I'm like, no, it will legitimately kill you. Don't do it. He dies, like, first time there's a sweep, he gets swept into the pool and dies. I start making fun of him, then I get swept into the pool and die. Because I'm not paying attention. I'm too busy trash-talking Maestro, who just died. And it just kind of went downhill from there on that fight. Like, those reanimated vampires just suck. Like, really, really bad. And I would hold them up against the wall so my camera was clipping really weird. And then I'd also run them into my healer consistently. Because for whatever reason, we picked the same wall. Either that or I just wanted to hang out with a friend. I'm not sure what it was.
Wait, hold on a second. Reanimated vampires?
Yeah.
You know how between the blood pool thing, he spawns big mobs that deal a lot of damage, like greatsword mobs, and they push you into the pool? They do like the swipe attack?
The pushers are the shades.
No, they're not.
I think. Just the reanimate. I pinned myself against the wall so the vampire couldn't get me. But the shades.
You don't just like hold him in the center square and just smack him until he dies?
That's what I do in my prog group. But
okay, I was like, I don't think I've ever done that
requires
way.
DPS. Yeah, like very heavy DPS.
I don't think I know that there's anything else. Okay, I'm learning something then.
We didn't want to do it that way because Maestro was a tank main, but I had clearly taken his role, so he was DPSing.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, we're gonna actually do mechanics and do this the right way, because like I had cleared it that way before anyway. So like I knew the actual mechanics. They're just a pain in the ass. So like if you're going around the outside, whenever he goes to the middle and the pool starts to fill with blood, it spawns a reanimated vampire and it hits so hard. And then sometimes you'll end up with a reanimated vampire on you, and the boss quits his bullshit in the middle. And so then you have the boss and the reanimated vampire, and they take turns hitting you, and then you die. And it's not fun. Eventually, we struggle bust our way through that one. And then we get to the scythe boss. And this is just where things really go to shit. First of all, the healer was too nice to tell me this, but I was running out of every single one of her heals, because I'm just used to running around like a madwoman the whole time. I know when I need to stand in my own heals, because it's my heals. I casted them, and I know what my health is. I'm just moving the boss all over the place, because, again, I have not played this game in 2-3 weeks now, because I've been moving, so...
And you've been playing Cyberpunk.
And I've been playing Cyberpunk. So... Yeah, I'm like moving the boss like way too much, and I'm not standing still to where she can like actually effectively heal me. So I just keep dying over and over and over and over and over again. Finally, Kiz messaged me and basically says, nicely, your tanking is not working out. You might want to ask to switch roles. So I'm like, all right, Maestro, you tank. So I wanted Maya to get her healer clear, so I wasn't going to swap to a healer. I was like, okay, if I DPS, I'm a mag sork. I can keep myself alive so that way I'm at least not a detriment to the team. Since we now have a tank who can actually hold aggro and not forget about the boss because you're so busy with this reanimated vampire that's popped up, which happened several times. I would only taunt the vampire, forget to taunt the boss because the vampire was just beating my face in. So I swapped to my Sork DPS, Meister swapped to his tank. And we finally cleared the thing. The entire time, everybody Kiz just trash talking how little DPS I was doing. Like, I'm doing my best, okay? All I know how to do is heal. Didn't even do that well last night because I don't know how to play the game anymore.
I heard that you have been forcing 90k DPS upon your poor DPS friends. That's just what I heard. That's what...
Just kids.
Okay, I approve of this.
What?
I approve of this.
He sent me a 90k DPS parse. Not on his normal, not on his main. I think it was on his Mag Crow or something. I don't remember what it was on. It might have been on PTS or something. He said it wasn't his Magplar. So it doesn't count. So he still needs to hit 90k.
It doesn't count.
But... I mean, it's giving him the motivation he needs to get there, because clearly he's trying. But it's just Kiz. Just Kiz and Bard. Those
Anything that happens to Kiz is fine. That's fine. Okay.
Exactly.
It's fine. It'll work itself out.
Yeah. So everybody else, I like try to cheer him on and all that. Bard and Kiz, anytime they hit whatever the previous DPS requirement was, I just up it by 5k, and they just get all upset, and it's just kind of funny at this point.
Kiz is in. Hey, Kiz in chat. Yep. How's it going? Our favorite person,
he's being
people from UESP. Yep, but the best DPS. Woohoo! How's it going?
I mean, Kiz also bullies me. He bullied me all night.
Oh yeah, I was about to. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, the entire run felt like just Kiz hammering Pixie into like just constantly annoying. But like, wow, he was pulling 90k DPS, but on Pixie's mental health.
Nice. It was a rough night. He was insulting my tanking. He was insulting my DPSing. I'm like, listen. I was just trying to make it fun and come in as an off roll. I was trying to keep things interesting. And he also, like, was telling me I healed wrong last night. Because I was actually supposed to do this other mechanic. And, like, the mechanic was completely different than I was originally told. How the fuck was I supposed to know? There's just, like, this whole thing where I just can't play the game, apparently, according to Kiz. And so Lego says, I told her 100k, she's being nice. So, yeah, everybody thinks I'm the slave driver. Look at Lego. It's fine. I'm nice. I think Kiz is stepping up the bullying because he's one of the people who contributed to the cool HyperPixie sign. Lotus 2 is on the card.
So he feels entitled now.
Yeah,
to the bully.
He feels entitled now.
He has to.
Is that the whole reason you contributed, Kiz?
So
yeah. He's like, if I can put down. Then I can increase my bully for 40%.
Exactly, because this is the first time it was like visible on stream that I actually had time to get it hung up and everything, and he was so mean. So.
Look, Kiz, if you spent half the time you spent bullying people into increasing your DPS, you would be pulling 220k now. But all you do is being Kiz, being yourself. Don't be yourself. Don't be yourself. See, the lesson you need to take from life is not to be yourself. God. It's to...
I'm scared.
Sorry, yeah.
But
I just wanted to tease Kiz a bit.
We did manage to get them skinned. We cleared it.
Oh, there you go.
I was on a DPS, and I cleared it. I was surprised at the end. I didn't realize she was even in execute because nobody called it out. Kiz didn't think to tell me. I clearly wasn't looking. So I was just hitting my crystal frags proc. That was all I was focused on. And apparently, because I'm the crappy DPS of the group, my job was reses. The only issue is I main a healer, and my secondary role is a tank, neither of which do reses. So some people are like, I'm dead, and like, tra-la-la-la, just DPS. Like, this is your job, stupid. Go res her. I'm like, what? I'm supposed to do what now? You mean stand still with like my hand? No, this feels wrong. I don't like this. I have necro res, but I'm on a sork, so I don't, and it's frustrating.
So all the pugs that I've run with that never res as DPSs, I wonder if that's how they do that. They just main tanks and healers and then just don't think about it.
I legitimately didn't. It did not even cross my mind until like the third time it happened, and somebody had to like legitimately tell me, "Pixie, go res." And then it was like, okay, I need to remember to res, and I had to like consciously tell myself that, and it was difficult. But we cleared it, and like we got into execute. Nobody said anything, so I didn't realize we were in execute because I was just laser focused on whatever the hell kind of rotation I was trying to do. And so I didn't do the execute rotation, which is slightly different. And so I just continued doing what I was doing. And she died, so it was fine. But of course I didn't, like, combat metrics and the logs and stuff show that I like lost horribly in the DPS race to Kiz.
I mean, that's obvious, but...
Yeah. I mean, I have good excuses.
See,
but...
Now I'm conflicted because I let you go first and let Lotus to be the last because I assume Lotus's tails would be the most painful. But wow, yours were as painful and dark as I assume Lotus is going to be. Thankfully, we know Lotus played Arena. So yeah, it's like so playing ESO with Kiz is on par with playing Elder Scrolls Arena.
Wow. I'm not sure if that's like the greatest compliment or the greatest insult that you can possibly throw at someone.
It's just a fact.
I mean, it's just the greatest fact.
Yeah.
I feel like that's accurate. I feel like I died as many times as Lotus. Hold on. Man, I need to pull up Streamlabs and that would mess up my camera, but I think I died like 35 times. Between 35 and 40. I know I died 40 times last night in Moongrave Fane, and I died between 35 and 40 times this time. So, a rough time.
I mean, you had... See, again, this all comes back to the one simple problem that you had in the very beginning. You gave Kiz an option to choose.
I was trying to be nice and just go along with what Lego said.
Okay, second problem that you ran into. You were trying to be nice to Kiz. See how see the core problem here?
Now he's saying he's gonna leave Discord. Don't leave Discord.
Oh man, wait, how did we manage that? Can we do the same so he leaves DCN as well?
Run some dungeons with him and insult him. Apparently that's what it takes.
Kids, all you gotta do.
I mean, Madigan agrees. Madigan says, I mean, I agree. I've played with Kiz.
And Madigan's as wholesome as it gets. Kiz, what have you done?
You broke Maddie.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, you made Maddie say a crossword, you monster.
There are two people who can break Madigan. Kiz and Celine and Lyranth Marcelot Gardner.
That was amazing.
It was
so
incredible.
Kiz is equals to Elder Scrolls Arena and Celine in Lair of Marcelok, which feels right because Lair of Marcelok hard mode did feel like Elder Scrolls Arena. Okay, we are figuring things out now. Unraveling the universe.
Celine's web is in Arena.
See?
They were the spider mating dens.
Kiz, what are your thoughts on goats?
I was gonna say, so coins, Dagon, Kiz, UESP translated the coins, and Kiz is from UESP.
Oh.
We just cracked a new level to this puzzle. Kiz.
Now he's suddenly tanking, so he's joined your order of tanks that you guys have. The tank council, did you call it?
Yep.
He tanks on his healer, though, so don't get too
That's
excited.
fine.
I mean, I heal on my tank, so I guess that works. All right, Lotus. Regale us with your fun, wholesome, very sweet, all rainbows and unicorns tales.
Okay, so my only... well, whatever. There's a couple positive highlights to my gaming. I beat Markarth and the epilogue. Very good. You guys should finish it if you haven't already. Very enjoyable. And I actually wasn't sure that this was going... Actually, I was pretty much convinced that I wasn't going to do this. But, man, I don't want to say that... I feel overpowered gets thrown around a little too easily in community. It's like, oh, this is OP, this is OP. It's like, well, is it OP or is it good? Like, something can be good without being literally overpowered. So the werewolf is OP. And when you gear it right, it's really OP. Because I went in and shredded Vadashram Hollows on Vet on my tank. Just completely obliterated it. I didn't die or use a sigil until the last fight, where the last fight does have a bit of an issue for me personally, because the ads get in the way and block me getting to the ring that's closing in on you. You just need to kill one of the specters. That's not a problem. It's whatever. and none of the enemies can kill me. I can just like stand in all their garbage and I'll be fine. But the problem is the boss will dive into the ground and rematerialize literally in the thing that I'm trying to kill, so that it's like deflecting my hits on her.
Oh.
And then all the other enemies, like the ads, will push in front of me and literally break my line of sight with the object that I need to do. And it is a deletion mechanic. So you either do it or you die.
Yeah.
So that was so that was actually the only thing that killed me in my first run of that. But whatever. I took a tip from watching Rich Lambert, where I kind of just kited all of those dudes out right before I could tell it was coming, so that they were behind me. And then I would go to the other side and start teeing off on the thing, and they would all just smash me in the back of the head, and I would ignore all of them while I would kill that thing. It took me some tries to get the hang of it or whatever, but I did manage to get the hang of it, clear it, and then I've since gone in and cleared it a couple other times. I haven't managed to get the no death, but a little practice, and I just need to basically do that final area without screwing up. But I went through and did a shitload of the like achievements that are in there. So I'm not a big arena person. Solo arena person. Mm-hmm. Vatashram is so much better than Maelstrom Arena. Just all around the design. Go in there and
try it.
It's basically, think of a dungeon, but for one person. It doesn't feel like an arena. It literally feels like a dungeon for one person. So if they're going to do arenas like that, yes, I kind of misjudged that. I didn't think it was going to be as enjoyable as it was, especially because I'm not a DPS. So I don't know. I liked it quite a bit. And because I was like, I don't think I've gotten that much better. I mean, I've gotten better as a player over the years. But one thing that I've never done was go back into that Maelstrom Arena after my tragedy of beating it on a tank back
How long
in
had
Morrowind.
It taken you? Like 40 hours?
It took me 31 hours to beat it on my tank. And I was like, man, this werewolf seems really over the top. I wonder if it would work in VMA. 57 minutes I beat VMA.
What?
Wow.
It is completely broken.
Jeez.
Yes. So the reason I went back in was I was like, okay, one, I'm a bad DPS. I'm just not a good DPS. So I was like, well, I'll just go in on this thing because it does decent damage, but it is so durable and you have resources for days. I was like, well, I'm really durable. VMA isn't so much mechanicsy. Maybe I could get a Flawless Conqueror. I botched it by 3 deaths on my second run. I was like, oh my God. So, and it was all at the same fight because I'm dumb. And it's not even a difficult one of the arenas. It's the spider arena.
Yeah.
I actually burnt the boss too fast with the werewolf that I forgot about the web mechanic where they like cover the pylon so that you can ward off the little ones, and she keeps enraging, and if you clear them all, she takes a shock and it will drop her enrage meter. I was killing her so fast, she kept enraging, but I didn't have 70k DPS or more where you can nuke her so fast she never hits you because you get right through the fight. I was in this weird intermediate where it's like she's almost dead, she's taking massive damage reduction, except I couldn't just completely wipe her out. And she was enraged so many times she hit me for 92,000 damage because she was just... It was pretty much like, why aren't you doing the mechanic? Like, you're going out of your way to do this wrong.
Yeah.
So I died 3 times till I remembered that happened. And then once I cleared the things, I beat it and went on. And it was... When I always said I had to go up and down in the final fight in the Theater of Despair to break those crystals because I was a tank and I didn't do any damage. Still not being a good damage dealer, I now understand why other people are like, that's not that big of a deal, because I went up on my werewolf, I clawed it, I yelled at it, and then I did a heavy attack, and it broke. And I was like, that's how you're supposed to... Wow, this is much easier than the really stupid sword and board that I was going with before. But, so I'm still not a fan of VMA. It's just not really that much fun. I kind of did it for the sake... I'm close enough with it, I think, with some practice, and if they don't get to the werewolf build that I'm using before I finish, I might be able to actually work at doing a Flawless Conqueror, which would be kind of neat, especially after my initial impression where my life was living hell for a month while I tried to beat that on a tank, and then I went through and I was like, that didn't even take me an hour, and I haven't run that place since Morrowind launch. So... yeah, if you need a way to get through solo content, look up Alcast's build, and shout out to Alcast for this build. Mine's a little different, but it's basically this build. Look up his solo werewolf build. It is unreasonable.
I mean, my main Dragon Knight has werewolf maxed out, so might as well.
It's a couple easy sets. Briarheart, Alessia, Ring of the Pale Order.
I have it.
And a shoulder. Dama House was the one I used because it just gives you more stamina.
Yeah.
That's it. Just good to go.
Gosh,
You are so durable. You do about 30 to 35. Well, okay. I do about 30 to 35 DPS. I'm sure you can do a hell of a lot more with it if you don't suck. But yeah, if you are stuck, but you just want to get your clear, I can't shout that build out enough. I was along the lines of it, and then I was like, oh, wow, okay. I did not expect it to be quite that powerful until I used it. So I am living proof of how to not be a DPS and chew through that stuff. But yeah, so that's my experience with all of that. And then I guess the only other ESO thing that is super worth mentioning, as we are starting a new year, and yet again, I will be doing Extra Life, I assume with both of you as the year goes on. But right before the end of the year, I've fulfilled my final requirement of running a 5K while doing vet dungeons. Shout out to Lego, who was in Pixie's Tales as well. Lego, that Grizz dude, and also Ishi Streams, as they jumped on and were like, yep, let's do this. So we did it on PC. I was CP 200. I'm sort of geared. And we just hit the random wheel of random vet dungeon, random vet dungeon, random vet dungeon, random vet dungeon, just until I finished was how we were going. Yeah, I believe actually Lego mentions I started at 191 and I ended at like 200 CP by the end, or something, like right on the dot.
So, how much did you run? Like, what's the final distance you ran?
Okay, so we made it through 4 dungeons. In the time it took me to run a 5K, we completed 3 dungeons. However, we finished the 3rd vet dungeon, and I was like, well, I think I still had a half a mile left on the thing. And I was like, well, I still got a half a mile left. We might as well do one more. And we pulled City Vash 2, because of course we did. And I'm like, oh my God. So we're going through, and we make it to like the 2nd boss, and I finish the 5K at this point, because City Vash 2 is the longest thing ever.
And for anyone confused, Lotus was literally on a treadmill running.
Oh yeah, this isn't
while tanking.
Yeah, I hooked up the computer near the treadmill, so I was running on a treadmill while doing these vet dungeons. And I think, I don't know. We made it like a couple bosses into City of Ash 2, and I was like, well, in the spirit of this, let's finish this dungeon. So I'll just run until this dungeon ends. And man, is that dungeon long, because the 5K turned into a 4.7 mile 5K. So I almost ran 5 miles instead of a 5K. But we killed it. We only wiped once the entire stream, and it was just because we pulled as much stuff as possible. We got a bunch of speed runs. We did not get any no deaths because man, multitasking between reading chat, playing a game, not breaking my foot on a treadmill by jamming it into the like rotary belt, and actually running is a lot to process. And one of the deaths, I literally was like, well, I'm going to die, because I ran out of resources. I had a potion available in hindsight, and it didn't register like, no, I'm running and I need to read chat and I need to stay balanced, and I'm out of resources, so I guess I'm going to die, and not I could use a potion right now to stay alive. But instead I just accepted my fate and died. So yeah, that was it was a fun experience. It was pretty entertaining. Man, the only side effect I will say of doing that is if anybody decides to ever do anything stupid like that, be very careful of how you run. My posture was terrible trying to keep my balance, I found out, because my knees and ankles were destroyed like all week long from the angle I was running. But yeah,
I always assumed you would have your PC in front of you, not down to the right below. So you were running like looking down to your right.
Off to the side. So I couldn't get it high enough was the problem.
Was there no like cabinets, nightstands, I don't know, chairs?
The problem, so I used a cabinet to start with and then switched it to like a fold-up table. The cabinet put the screen like right at the height of the screen of the treadmill, so I was just totally effed.
You
like
there was more things. I don't know, put books under the
just stacking books. Yeah,
stack something.
To be fair, I didn't think it would screw with me that bad, but oof, yeah, posture was rough. But yeah,
I thought it was just a weird camera angle. Like I noticed you were kind of hunched over, but I was like, oh, it's just a camera.
Nope. I mean, to be fair, I was leaning into the thing so that I could keep my balance better, because trying to do that at the same time was very challenging.
Yeah, as Lego says, he has learned for the next time of running 10K while tanking dungeons for next year.
Perfect. But yeah, so huge shout out to all of you again for actually making me do that by crushing like literally every single one of those charity goals we set forward. And then the final thing that I did during our little seasonal break for Saturalia and all that goodness and New Life was I played Arena. I don't know, New Year's Day. So what the hell day is today? Is today the 2nd?
That was Friday.
Friday, yeah. So Friday, I started the new year with an Arena stream, and it was a disaster. To which I died so many times. Several people apparently just put me on as like a soothing background swear track, apparently, because it was,
I was just one of them.
I don't understand. I don't understand. So, to anybody that's played Arena, yes, Arena is a very it's a difficult game, and I'm not looking, but I'm doing it blind so that I don't know like ways of doing things.
I love how optimistically you went to anybody that's played Arena.
Yeah, look, I said we make fun of the 12 people that use Stadia. The 9 people who play Arena feel me on this. Shout out to TES Benefactor for being one of those people. But Arena is just mean-spirited. In a game that is like super pixelated. It runs, like, the frame rate can get so fast that you can't control the game. So I have to intentionally slow the frame rate because it overprocesses. But then for some reason it like tanks other times and the frame rate goes to total shit. The issue recently, and I don't remember this before, was I started walking into things and I would be trying to explore rooms and I would die. And I'm like, oh, what? I don't understand. What killed me? Oh, I guess I missed something. And I'd reload and I'd walk forward and I'd look around and there's nothing there. And then I'd die. And I'm like, okay, what is happening? Like, what is killing me? And then I started trying to like go little by little. And I wasn't dying because I was missing things. They just wouldn't spawn them.
Oh, great.
Until I was looking the other way. and then they would spawn. Like, I would back into corners and things would materialize behind me. And I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. Like, you were just spawning things out of my field of view so that I can't see the thing to defend myself against it, which is ridiculous. So I died a lot. I was in Murkmire, or I guess Black Marsh, and it was Mirkwood was where I had left off. Went into Mirkwood, bumbled around in Mirkwood, beat Mirkwood, with the caveat of I didn't remember Madigon just brought it up in chat. Paralyzed is the worst status effect. I thought getting cholera and the Black Death as diseases were just garbage. Paralyzed never ends. It just never fucking ends. I have no idea what the timer is on it. There were clips taken of. They're Medusas. I've made fun of the fact that they're not Lamias yet. They're just straight up Medusas. And basically, it's this snake lady with boobs. Like, it's just they wanted an excuse to detail boobs. Like, okay, what? You look like at the cover of Arena and you get it. Yeah, it's major boobage. It's yeah. So there are just topless snake people coming around, and everything in Arena pretty much will fight you in hand-to-hand combat. But God help you if you're not close enough to you, because they all, for some reason, have ranged attacks, no matter how impractical it is. And as I'm, like, going into rooms, if I can't get to the snakes fast enough, they shoot this essentially never-missing orb that hits me, and I'm immediately hit with a 100% chance of paralyze. So I just stand there. And I'm like, okay, well... Yeah, so I don't have any anti-paralysis potions or potions of free action, I think it's called. So I'm like, well, I'll just wait it out. I'll just wait it out. Okay, a minute's gone by. How am I still paralyzed? And I'm dead. So I needed to use invisibility potions to run past them, just praying they don't see me because I had no chance of fighting them. Whatever, I get through that place. There's some riddle doors, and bingo bango, we beat that place. We get the seventh staff piece, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got this. I felt pretty good. We guessed the riddles, both of them. Pixie, you got one. You got the first one. We guessed the second one as well. And the final piece is in Morrowind. And I'm like, great, I'm going to go to Morrowind. And it is in Dagath-Ur. Does that sound like a place in Morrowind you've ever heard of? Because I hadn't.
They shoved the staff piece
into Dagath-Ur himself.
Yes.
So, Red Mountain in Arena is apparently called Dagath-Ur.
I wonder if there's like a lore thing about that. Or it's just back then in Elder Scrolls Arena, they just decided it that way, and then they just forgot. And they were like, you know what?
So for the sake of staying blind, I haven't looked it up until I beat it. Because I don't want to spoil, like, oh, this is actually how you clear something. It's like, crap. So I'm waiting till I complete it, but then I want to, like, actually look into it. But Yeah, Red Mountain, they just call it Dagathur in this game. So you have to go to Dagathur in Morrowind. So I went to the Ebonheart Pact, which I got my directions, and I needed to go to the Black Gate, which I'm like, what is with the all Lord of the Rings soundy things? But I was like, okay, whatever. I go to the Black Gate, and I need to get... oh shoot, I forget what the name of the items are. But basically there's this hammer and anvil.
Right.
And they're magic. And if you clang them together, it sings out the location of the entrance to Dagathur. And I'm like, this sounds like Keening and Sunder before Keening and Sunder, and Dagathur is actually later changed into, like, it feels like they had all the pieces of what the Morrowind lore is, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, Dagathur sounds pretty cool. We'll go with that. And yeah, there's like a hammer thing and it does magic stuff. But so I went to the Black Gate in order to find the hammer. Mm-hmm. And my solution was I needed to stop getting lost in these places. I'm just going to pick a direction and I'm going to go in that direction. And it didn't help at all. I just went west and I found, I don't know, 50 or 60 dead end rooms filled to the brim with enemies or enemies that aren't spawning or things that are paralyzing me. And I died, I don't know, 30, 40, 50-ish times in the course of 3 hours. And despite all of that, and finding that the door to where I needed to go was behind a hidden wall on the other side of a pond or something, I found the next floor of the place, because of course there has to be more than one floor. No idea how many floors are in this Black Gate thing. They just seem to keep getting longer and longer and longer. But yeah, in the course of like 3.5 hours, I managed to get one of the staff pieces, die a shitload, and get hopelessly lost in the Black Gate. So one piece left. One piece left. I'm not in the dungeon that has the piece, but one piece left. I hope the
game has a whole new storyline, Lotus.
If this has like substantially more after I build the staff, like, I don't know what my approach to it will be. Like, my logical assumption is I get the 8th staff piece, and then I don't know, I go to the Imperial City where Jaeger von Tharn is, who is just... He takes way too much credit for my failures because it's just his shitty lackeys who kill me over and over and over again. He sucks. I don't like him. And the only other thing that I'm mildly worried about, because magic plays a pretty enormous role, if he's immune to physical damage for the final fight, because this seems like something this game would do, I will snap. Because I will have no way to fight him.
What's gonna happen is that same type of crash that you had where the screen went all kinds of crazy colors, and you're gonna try to reload the game just like normal, and all your saves are corrupted. You just start all over.
Yeah, great.
That's the day. That's the day we'll see Lotus just laying on his back with like Boots does, just spaced out, just done.
Nope, just all done. But yeah, so for anybody who is live, I'm hoping tomorrow to play again. I don't know, because I've lost control of my life. But once I get out of the Black Gate, I'm close enough to the end of the game where I've had enough of this crap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the fortune that I've amassed through my hours of failing throughout this game, but also being a pinch penny and keeping all my money. And I'm going to buy like 1,000 health potions until my character's knees break under the weight, and a whole bunch of I can't be frozen in place things. These are clearly the official names. And then, I don't know, a whole bunch of other garbage that will prevent me from getting horrible diseases like cholera. And I am just... Every time you sleep in this game, you get health back until monsters spawn. And they're just nonstop. So I'm just going to stop sleeping in game, ever. I'm just never going to sleep. I'm just going to live off drinking crappy health potions. And then there'll be less enemies, is my theory. So that's my approach. And yep, I'm determined to beat this thing. And hopefully the time is soon.
I mean, as you mentioned, never sleeping in the game, we are slowly losing Pixie to sleep.
Oh, she's just
because
so
it's
sorry.
fine.
Yeah,
It's
so
fine.
I mean,
Well, it is 2 a.m.
it is 2 a.m. So Pixie has been streaming before the show, and we've been live just for Tales for like over 3 hours now. So she's been live for like 5-6 hours, I think.
I keep thinking I'm dreaming of Lotus playing Arena. Lotus talking about Arena, and I'm actually supposed to be doing a podcast. But I literally fell asleep a couple times there, briefly.
You are at the point where I dreamed drones over Cyrodiil. Like micro sleeped and micro dreamed drones over Cyrodiil. So,
you had the drones. See, you were getting the care packages early. It all circles back.
There we go. The problem is, like... So other than streaming, I've been unpacking and doing all of the stuff for the house, and I feel like I'm still getting caught up on all that sleep that I missed whenever I moved. Because first night in the house, we didn't have any of the furniture moved in, but I needed to be here so early the next morning for like appliance install. So I was like, I'm just gonna have to sleep on the floor here because there's no way I can make it that far in that short a time. I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. to make it out here. So I was like, I'm just going to sleep on the floor. I'll just make a pallet. It's fine. Only I forgot the pillows and blankets. So I just like legit slept on the floor. And it was cold.
That's rough.
And I tried to use Baker's clothes as pillows and blankets because he remembered his clothes. I forgot everything important. And he thought that I remembered it. So, and then I was like, okay, I will use him as a pillow. But whenever Baker is sleep deprived and stressed out, he sleepwalks. Woke up in a gentle headlock because he was confused as to what was going on. And he kept, like, the only part of me that was actually really cold was my feet. So I had one of his hoodies draped over my feet, but he kept taking it off and, like, holding it up like he was confused as to what it was and putting it on his...
Amazing.
What was going on? So I kept having to like wrestle it back from him. Once the headlock thing happened, I just moved to the other side of the room because I realized like he was very confused. Had no idea who I'd wake up to like pat downs because he didn't know who I was and was trying to figure it out, but it was dark. It was a nightmare. I was up at 3 a.m. I was like, who is up at 3 a.m.? I was like, Kiz is up at 3 a.m.
Well, yeah, Kiz is a robot. We've gone over this.
Right. So I messaged Kiz. He's like, what the hell are you still doing awake? I was like, I can't sleep. So it was, I'm so tired.
I mean, I would have felt bad and tried to keep this a short episode, but we know that never happens, so...
No.
Yeah.
No, there's not...
Hopefully
no point.
After this, you'll get to sleep in tomorrow. I hope. I don't know.
I have a family day planned tomorrow.
Perfect.
It's okay.
All right. I mean, we only have like another hour of things to talk about, I think.
Yeah. So now we unveil our special topic of translating the Mysterium Xarxes.
So that's going to be a weird dream.
No, Dagon, no. Not Tamriel.
No,
not Sean Bean.
So many shoulders.
But it was micro sleeps, and it was not, like, I'm just tired. It wasn't that I wasn't listening. I heard every word of what you said. It's just my eyes physically would not stay open.
Oh, I know that. I know. The micro sleeping is such a strange thing. Like, you are aware of everything, but dreaming at the same time type of weird something. Yeah. Also, the chat has been discussing whether the show has been 3 hours or... No, the show has been a large 2 hours. All of our episodes, we discussed this in the pre-show, all of our episodes are 2 hours. Some are just small 2 hours, some are just large 2 hours. So please, I know how long the show is, okay? It's not 3 hours. Come on. All of our shows are just 2 hours.
And everything is very, very scheduled here, obviously, at DCS.
Yes.
Heavily scripted. You didn't know?
Heavily scripted.
Heavily scripted. We type down everything before the show. I prepare for days. Like, it's very prepared. Nothing is left to chance. Nothing is spontaneous or like on the fly. So, yeah.
It's correct. I totally don't have the tales from like 4 weeks ago still written into the show notes or anything.
Exactly. No, absolutely not.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, it's my show notes. My tale still said I am dead from that episode I missed that you typed in. And I was like, wait, I'm not.
It's like a month ago.
I'm not skipping this episode, right? Am I?
Was I scheduled to take tonight off?
Did I tell everyone that I wasn't gonna be able to make it and go play Tarkov?
Am I actually dead?
Ag actually did recommend it. Ag was like, tell everyone that you're not gonna make it and come play Tarkov. So, I'm not gonna snitch on Ag.
Ag is the one who put that there.
But yeah, okay, so we are gonna do a fast outro so Pixie can go sleep. So Lotus, where can people find you?
I am LotusOfDoom on Twitter and Twitch and Discord and pretty much in game. If you see LotusOfDoom and I have an account there, that's most likely me or some type of shady imposter, I guess. Could be in something I don't have. But yeah, you see LotusOfDoom, it's most likely me.
Pixie.
In about 5 minutes, you'll be able to find me asleep in my bed, but you can find me on Twitter at HyperPixie Games and on Twitch at HyperPixie Gaming.
There you go. And you can find me anywhere that is Arkaniir. That is ARKHANIIR. It's a made-up name, so if you see it, it should be me. And you can follow everything we do over at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you can find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Facebook, but it's not active. And a whole bunch of Twitter accounts and everything else. Definitely check out our YouTube, as mentioned earlier in the episode. We now have proper videos there, not just podcasts, but edited, curated videos. And first one is up, and you watching and liking would be helpful. Be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork if you want to help support the show and help keep the metaphorical torches lit. You can also leave us a 5-star review on iTunes if you listen to us on iTunes, and we will read it on the show, and it will help people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, we derail all the time, but sometimes it still matters. Thank you all so very much for joining on this episode of Tales of Tamriel, and we will see you all next week. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magic effused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.